Shalom, Brukba, welcome. I am joined with Esteban here, Stevan,
Me?
Davis Guerra. Yeah. Joined with him. Christian Gadfly is still being a good father and taking care of his children. Like,
What a dweeb.
I know. But anyway, so today we're gonna go through a little bit of the Bible, the Genesis. I don't know how much. But yeah, I have not slept much in a long time.
Hey, Chris is treading my silly waters of insomnia.
Yes. No, I haven't gotten a full night's sleep in several years, but I haven't gotten a half night's sleep in several days. So my body's just like slowly shutting down. It's great. Um, my energy level is still fine, but my internals are starting to like, hey, we're gonna die if you don't get more sleep. I'm like,
That's a great way to put it, Chris. I literally was just having this talk with my wife outside before I came in about that. Because it is a weird thing how your brain can still be full functioning. Well, not I wouldn't say full functioning because it does depend somewhat on your body, but uh, eventually your body says, "Hey," and it's usually like when you're at a red light and you say, "Just gonna close my eyes for 10 seconds," and and you don't want to get there, but a lot of
of
times you
course.
do.
Yeah. So sorry about my distractibility in the last stream. I don't even remember what you were doing on the last stream to be distracting. Um, to
Now,
be
if
honest.
anyone if anyone needs to apologize, it's us.
The last stream we did was well, I guess depends on if he means the Islam stream or the Bible stream from last Monday, but
Oh,
the
that's
Islam
right.
stream was really good for those who haven't seen it yet.
I
I
I
do
have not
recommend
seen
it.
that one.
Yeah, we went over the Bible and it being reliable versus the Quran and it being reliable. Yeah, the Islam one. Yeah. Uh Turns out the Quran's not reliable and it's more corrupted than the Bible. Anyway, um, you can go through that stream if you want, but at least like 5 to 6% of the Quran is just lost to history, and only 0.6% of the Bible is lost to history. Well, of the New Testament, of the Bible, it's like 0.01%. It's a very small percentage. It's like 70 verses that are lost to history. 33 of which we have no idea what it was supposed to be said, and then oh no, it's 46 that we know or shouldn't be in there, and 33 that we are suspect if it should be in there or not. So you have like 70 verses in the entire Bible that we're like, huh, we're unsure of this verse. Then you got a couple thousand words altogether that we're unsure of.
And still within all that, none of which affects in any way
The doctrines.
pretty much anything in the
Right,
Bible.
right. Yeah. So critical stream. This stream we're gonna go. It's gonna be pretty low key, pretty chill. We'll just go through a couple chapters of Isaac and maybe Jacob's story until I get tired and want to go to sleep. And then I'll call it a night. But it's only 8 o'clock here now, so I might actually go to sleep before midnight tonight. We'll see. That
I
would
wish
be it.
that for you, Chris.
Yeah, I wish that for me too. Maybe we can actually cause that to happen. Um. Anyway, we'll go through a couple chapters. I'll answer any questions we have in the comments, and then I'll go to sleep. I have a very so this is going to be a running occurrence. My dog is terrified of thunderstorms, and it's currently thundering really badly
Oh,
here. So I just have one of these
oh,
just panting
oh.
under my desk. So if I get distracted or anything, it's just because she's terrified and she's currently shivering. That's
We
not from
lucked
me
out with
picking her
our
up. She just
dog.
always is.
She's a big giant German Shepherd, and she has never flinched for fireworks or thunderstorms or anything, like you wouldn't even know. However, I can relate to some extent with dog issues at this point because she just started menstruating, which is just not fun in any way.
No, for any species.
For any species.
That's
And so that's its own thing.
Yeah. So tonight would be the only night I could do a dog cam, because she's gonna be just laying in a heap of
Oh.
shivering sadness, but it's not gonna be a very nice thing to look at because she's just gonna be very sad the whole time. Anyway, so got a lot going on tonight. It should be an interesting stream too. Power might go out if I just go blank and it just becomes the Steven show. Yeah,
All of a
that's
sudden
because
there'll be
my
all
power
this
went out.
weird talk of teleporters and things. I still have no clue what anybody's mentioning when they say that. Some kind of weird, I don't know.
Yeah, this one should have it. It should have less conflict, but you never know. You never know. There might be some JW that comes up, or some Mormon or Black Hebrew Israelite, or
Or
I don't
God
know.
forbid we get a slippery Judaizer.
I know, crazy. You should
Those are the
just
worst.
have. So your name is basically the slave of Jesus the Messiah.
Hmm.
And I say basically, it's like the literal translation is slave of Yeshua HaMashiach.
Hmm.
Uh, so you could also just put your name instead of that. You could just put slippery Judaizer in Hebrew, and then none of the
Oh.
people would realize it.
Only the slippery Judaizers would. And they'd be
Only
like,
the
hey,
slippery Judaizers would get it.
we
Yeah.
got one of our guys in there.
For the record, he's not a slippery Judaizer.
Yes, because I'm not slippery. I'm a coarse Judaizer. I'm like a
Also
bot
not a
fly.
you're not a Judaizer either. But yeah. Okay. Anyway, so I don't know if I want to go over the Rebecca thing. We went over typology last week, which was a pretty based stream.
Yeah.
And then we have this description. Should I talk about Rebecca or should I just skip it? Or the
Maybe
Rebecca
just
is
do a
three
quick
argument.
because let's also do a quick pitch for your video, which again I've said it several times, and that was actually my introduction to Chris, almost a year ago, was his video on the silly claim of was Rebecca 3, the silly claim you hear from Islamists, and Chris did an incredible, I mean, again, in my opinion, the best video, the best addressing of that subject ever. And so Chris has
I
got a
concur.
video on that. And so Chris, without going into too much detail, maybe just as maybe a little bit of like a
Yeah. I guess I can do
just
that.
quick overview.
Mm. It's my most watched video on the channel. So if you just sort my videos by popular, it'll be the one that pops up. And I also did a stream with David Wood on it. That is the most comprehensive answering of this topic on the internet. It just is.
Mhm.
So we can quickly debunk it in a bunch of different ways. One, we have no idea how old Isaac was whenever he was supposed to be sacrificed. We know how old Sarah was whenever he was born, because it specifically says how old Sarah was whenever she had him, which was 100. She then dies at 127. So or wait, no, is it 100? No, 137. 127.
Just
Yeah.
I had it pulled up here.
So he is 40 when he marries her, 37 whenever Sarah died. So she must have been she was 90 years old. Abraham was 100, she was 90. She died 37 years later at 127. So they use that math to show that Isaac was 37 whenever the binding of Isaac happened, because they take it extremely woodenly and literally that at the start of Genesis 22, right after Isaac is born in 21, this happens, and then it goes straight into this report, then it goes straight into his mom dying. And then from here down to when he marries her is only 3 years. So for 3 years, he was sad and, despondent in his mother's tent. But the problem is almost none of that was actually true.
Major problem.
So, very pretty, minor problem. He was not 37 whenever he was sacrificed on the wood. That is not a thing the Bible teaches. actually just says now it happened after these things. That's how it introduces 22. And then at the beginning of 20, or at the like at this point, it says now it happened after these things. This exact phrase in Hebrew appears, I think, like 7 other times in the Bible, mostly in Genesis. And it just means after a long time.
Hmm.
This could be years, it could be decades, it could be centuries, which we see in the Bible. So we have like a jump between Cain and Abel and Noah being this exact phrase, and that's centuries. We
Hmm.
have another jump of Isaac growing up and being a full grown man, and that was again like 20 years. It just jumps. So
Yeah,
this
it's
is a
just a
jumping
typical
statement.
phrase to say
Yeah, after some
sometime
time.
later. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. This could indicate any period of time though, but it is also used in the Bible explicitly for long time periods.
Hmm.
So it might have been 10, 20 years from the binding of Isaac to when he heard this report. And then you also have another one later on whenever he goes and he is like, "Hey, go find a wife." So this exact phrase, like, we have no idea when this report was given. We have no idea how old he was when the binding happened. We have no idea how old Rebecca is from this report because she's not actually born here. Because it says, now it happened after these things that it was told to Abraham, saying, Behold, Milcah has also borne children to your other brother Nahor, Uz his firstborn, and Buz his brother, and Cumiel, the father of Aram, and Chesed, and Hazo, and Pildash, and Jiltba, Jidlap, Jidlaf? Oh yeah, Jidlaf.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yid,
Hebrew,
but
yidlaf. Yeah.
Jidlaf. Yeah. And
It,
then
it's
Bethuel.
always, I always, because it's not that I wouldn't say that I got lucky because it ends up actually causing a little bit of trouble. But when I started really studying the Bible is after I got into Hebrew. And so I would always fixate on the original names. And so there are a lot of names in the Bible that I actually don't know how in typical English conversations people would say them. Uh, so
You're too Jewish. You can't speak English to
so
people.
so your Jidlof sounds good to me. I think
That's
that's probably the
funny.
only way you'd probably read that. Gehazi,
Yeah.
that was one where I got caught up. Someone was asking me about uh the that's Elisha or yeah.
Elisha?
Yeah, Elisha's
Yeah.
his buddy.
Oh,
And
Elijah. Yeah.
oh, Elijah, okay. And
Yeah.
in Hebrew it's Gehazi. And so someone was talking, they're like, I bet you know who Gehazi is, and I didn't even know what they were talking about. And because it sounds similar enough when you finally realize it.
Hmm.
But if you get used to, or if you only know the Hebrew names, then someone would say that, and I felt like an idiot because I'm like, of course that's what they're talking about. But
My problem is I sometimes mix up the Hebrew names. So whenever I'm talking to Jews, um, especially when I hear like Yitzhak, and I'm like, oh, Jacob. I'm like, wait, no, no, no,
oh
no, no,
right.
that's not Jacob. That's
Mm.
Yaakov. No, that's Isaac. I'm like, oh, no, no, no. Yeah. Are you a Messianic Jew? No.
No, not in a lot of senses. Sometimes I used to say that because it was the easiest way, like 20 years ago, for people to kind of get an idea of what I do, but don't really qualify for that in any sort of way that I would feel comfortable using that term. So I just
Mm.
stick with the very lengthy Torah observant Christian, and that's as good as I've got for now.
I don't think I'm a Jew, despite what my nose says. Um, and I do believe in Messiah, though. So
Hmm.
I would just say I'm a Gentile Messianic Jew,
Yeah,
as we're all Christians.
I do have
But
legendary Jewish lineage that I haven't been able to confirm that led me to be circumcised as an adult, but so far as far as I can tell, I have nothing to substantiate that with in any way that would convince anybody else. So I just stay away from that in order to not potentially be uh, viewed as a deceiver, especially to Jews who might think, oh, he says he's a Jew, and it turns out he's
He's
not.
really a
He's like,
boy.
right,
Yeah,
right, and he's lying to us to convince us to follow something or the other. So Torah observant Christian is something that doesn't roll off the tongue very easily,
yeah.
but it gets the message, it gets the point across for now.
But yeah, I mean, basically. But you don't got the Jew card.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm Semitically challenged myself, so I can't either. Anyway, so back to this. So we have this genealogy report happening, and when you think about the travel distance messengers would have to take to find people where they're living and to give the message, you might get robbed, you might be killed by animals, you might die to exposure, um, might die to random encounters. Like it's a very perilous journey in general.
You could
Even
get
on like
dysentery like on the Oregon Trail.
yeah, it's really brutal to do these type of journeys. So they wouldn't do these journeys up until like you had a bunch of things to say. So the
Hmm.
fact that it was not just that she had kids, but she had 8 kids. Okay, that's a long period of time. Unless these are like, octuplets, which they're not. Um, that is a ton of boys back to back to back to back. And remember, they don't really mention females much in genealogies, unless something important was happening to those daughters.
Hmm.
So she might have had like 13 kids, 14 kids. Like we have no idea. But she had at least 8, and they were all boys. And then Bethuel was the father of Rebecca. Well, from Bethuel to Uz is like decades, at least a decade. It's a long period of time. We have no idea. So it's not all these people can't be born all at once whenever this report is given. It's not like she had, you know, 8 babies at once and then one of the babies also had Rebecca. That's
Hmm.
nonsense. So and if you notice, the Hebrew doesn't have quotation marks. It just has this full stop character at the end, the colon. That ends like a paragraph or a sentence structure. You see these, they're fairly often. It's how you like stop your point. Or natural verse breaking. They
Yeah, the
have those at the end
one
of every
kind
verse.
of real bit of solid punctuation we have in Hebrew. There's the cantillation marks, which are sort of helpful, but those come from the Masoretes, which is
Still
a
way
lot
late in
later.
history. Yeah.
Hmm.
Mhm. So you have that. There's no quotation marks. So a lot of the arguments people make based on quotation marks is just from the translator's perspective. But there's a
Hmm.
reason why the translators have this perspective.
Right.
This Vav here is in, I believe, the active indicative sense, if I remember correctly.
Which verse are we on, Chris? My monitor's got a delay,
23.
so I'll go 23. Okay, so
Yeah, 23.
we've
I can pull up my
got
notes. I'm
well,
not a great grammarian,
Vithuel, Yolat.
but the Hebrew is in the sense of a continuation of a sentence, but it's like an aside. Um, so the sentence itself indicates that it's not part of the report, which is why uh the the people here they have the quotation mark end here and not actually go into and Bethuel was the father of Rebecca. Uh, that is an aside by Moses, the author, not actually part of the report being done to him.
Oh
Um,
yes, yes, because it talks about. I think it's the because of the verb.
yes, it
Hine
isn't.
Yorda Milka. Yeah, Hine. Someone's
Yeah,
speaking,
it's a,
and
a
then
it's a vav consecutive with a perfect verb following it, which indicates it's an aside.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. It's
those two
not
things
in the
together,
stream of things.
yes. So Bethuel, being the father of Rebecca, is not even told to Abraham at this point. He was just told about his nephews. That's it. Hey, you got 8 nephews. Like, wow, that's a bunch of nephews. Thanks for telling me. And then it keeps going. That's as far as you get. So Rebecca's not even mentioned when she was born in this sentence. And then we have the death of Sarah. But again, we have no idea how long from the report being given to the death of Sarah it was. This could be years. We have no idea. So it's a very wishy-washy um, genealogy that you have there to date Rebecca to the death of Sarah for her birth. pretty stupid.
Right, and also for anybody who wants to make the claim, because there's a video of like one rabbi talking about this. I follow along with Chris with my Art Scroll Humash with Rashi's commentary, and then also other footnotes. Uh, and this mentions nothing about Rebecca being three, so it's not as much as a lot of creepy Jew haters would like to say that this is a mainstream Jewish view that Rebecca was three. It's not. It's not even close to mainstream. And even if it was, they'd still be just as wrong as anybody who would say that according to the text. So it's not really a there's no strength in any part of that position.
Yeah. So for this question here, it might have been that they were less corrupted reproductive systems back then. I think we have. I was looking up something for right now. But I'm pretty sure we've had pretty stable gestation cycles for the pretty much all of human history that we know about. Because there's at least back in the time of 200 AD, it was for sure still 40 weeks gestation. Because the rabbis mention it, the Greeks talk about it. We have Greek physicians in 200 BC talking about it, being the exact same period of time. I think we have some of the oldest the oldest archaeological argument or documents we have in stone in clay tablets has birth cycles. So there's this wheel of going from a sperm or a seed down to pregnancy to birth to old age and then causing it. So like there's this wheel of life. I think with that we also had a loose description of how long it took. That was around 40 weeks. My wife just gave me crackers. So I've been
That's pretty cool.
crackered. Yes. Anyway, it was just a guess. I mean, I know, I get it. I was just thinking like
Still good information. I mean, it
right.
was a good hypothesis to explore.
If it was shorter, if anything, it would be longer because it'd have less nutrition. But if it was shorter, it wouldn't be so much shorter that, yeah, humans might have had. Oh, you mean for miscarriage? Like we'd have less miscarriages back then. Again, like unless you were a very rich person, that's not necessarily true. They probably had much more miscarriage. Like the infant mortality rate was pretty high, including miscarriages, because of a lack of nutrition and hygiene. Although their immune systems were arguably significantly better than ours, but they didn't have the nutrition, which is the big killer. If you don't have that, you can't produce enough milk. You can't produce enough nutrients to keep the baby alive. So, yeah, peasants or desert dwellers, they would have earlier pregnancies that were basically preemies. So you get a bunch of like 8-month, 9-month babies instead of the full 40 weeks. So you'd get like 36 weeks, 37 weeks, and they would be tiny, teeny tiny. It was a different time. Women matured faster, you see. Yeah.
Boy, they're really doubling down on that, which is kind of nice to see because it can be pointed out that it's more mainstream than I think a lot of people are aware
Right.
of.
Yeah.
But also,
No,
my goodness, they're
it's
really
so
investing in that.
stupid. Yeah, actually, ironically for this, women matured slower. You didn't hit puberty till you were like 16 or 17 because you had less nutrition. Again, nutrition determines everything. If you don't have nutrition, you don't have a high IQ. If you don't have nutrition,
I
you don't have fast puberties. If you don't have nutrition, you don't have low mortality rates. Like nutrition is the bare minimum for everything else to flourish.
Right. I mean, I was going to say I have yet to start my period, and I just turned 40. So
Actually, that's not true. Men also have periods. We just don't bleed during ours. So you actually, I think it's a weekly. Men are on weekly cycles and women are on monthly cycles, if I remember correctly. But whenever we are replenishing our semen or sperm count, it's basically the same thing. You
like
go through hormone
hormonal effects, you
imbalances.
mean?
Hmm.
Oh,
Yeah, if dudes are just randomly moody in the middle of just middle of the day sometimes, you're probably on your male
I just thought it was because
Gaming
the lady at the nail
cycle.
salon messed up she gave me the wrong color and I let her have it.
uh, yeah, ADHD can also yeah, I mean, sure. And I did know this, TRT. I have had two kids. Yeah, milk is
Personally.
actually personally, yes, I have fathered two children. Um, yeah, boobs are pretty cool. They're able to change what they're giving to the baby through the milk
Yeah,
in
that's
order for the baby to
crazy.
continue to live. Which
That's
is why you
really
need to, if you can actually get the babies to latch, it's better than just pumping and feeding because then your
mm-hmm.
boobs are like blind.
Mm-hmm.
Although they do produce a lot more fat in the content. Like, I don't know, this might be too much information for people, but like, if you ever get a like breast milk bottle that you let sit for a day or
Hold
so
on
in the
real quick. I'm
fridge,
just going to
like the fat
just in
content
case.
separates.
Oh,
The fat
okay. No,
content
that's good.
separates, and it gets real thick and it's weird. So you have to like shake the bottle uh aggressively, although you don't want to do it. You have to do it in a very careful way so you don't like get a bunch of air because then you'll give the baby the burpees and gas and it won't be fun. So you have to very gently like stir in your fat in your breast milk. Parenthood, man. Anyway, boobs are pretty cool. Yeah, there you go. Oh yeah, boobs are in fact pretty cool, pretty based. Anyway, Sarah dies. Sarah lived 127 years. These were the years of the life of Sarah. Sarah died in Kiriath Arba, that is Hebron in the land of Canaan, and Abraham came to mourn for Sarah and to weep for her. And Abraham rose from before his dead and spoke to the sons of Heth, saying, I am a sojourner and a foreign resident among you. Give me a possession for a burial site among you, that I may bury my dead out of my sight. Yeah, not that one. They will take the minerals from the mother's bones. Yeah. Um, your bone marrow is pretty cool. All the stuff it can do. Also makes your blood. Anyway, also it tastes delicious. You put it in a stew.
Not of your wife.
No,
Just
I've never had human bone marrow. I can't
never.
attest to the tastiness. Although people who have say it tastes like pork.
They do.
So
And that's
yeah.
that's an argument from my side of the field over here.
You don't
No, I
want to
do.
eat humans, therefore don't eat pig.
I was
Yeah.
soldering something when I was a teenager and I burnt my arm. I stupidly looked away and stuck the soldering arm into my arm, or the soldering iron in my arm. My dad came in from outside and I went, Dad, I burned my arm but it smells like hot dogs. And then he told me that he's read the testimonies of cannibal tribes who say that I think there was something. Now, this was a long time ago before the internet, so who knows where his sources were from or if they're reliable, but he said there was some cannibal tribe that was fed ham and they couldn't tell the difference. Not, I'm not stating that as a fact, but that's what he told me. But then I was like, oh yeah, guess I could see that because my arm smelled pretty good when it was roasting under that soldering iron.
Yeah, no, there's been a bunch of cannibals that I've read accounts of that say that humans taste like pig. So,
So there
yeah.
you heard it here first, people. Human
Oh,
meat is
also,
delicious.
it probably is, to be fair. It would heavily depend on your diet, though, how tasty you are, as in all things.
Yeah,
Like
that's true.
we altern like you have no idea how different animal diets are that we consume versus animal diets that live in the wild. It's wildly different. Why? Because it makes it taste better, it makes them fattier.
Mm.
So
Like Chris
we
probably tastes like Wi-Fi, I would guess, because of all his work. And I probably just taste like soot, I would imagine, if I had to guess.
Tom, you take what we say the absolute worst way possible. Yeah. Human meat is delicious, Steven. There we go. We got some banger of some quotes tonight.
There we
We
go.
got
Yeah.
boobs are pretty cool and human meat is delicious.
We're right on track for a
There
great.
we go. Yeah.
See, Christian Gadfly is always here in spirit. Come on. Oh, I can do that. Let's
Pigs
see.
literally eat garbage and everyone thinks they're tasty. They are tasty though, pigs.
I can't believe y'all are talking. I'm gone for a minute. And y'all are talking about eating people and all sorts of inappropriate parts of women's bodies. And I'm going to get back to my kid. Hey, there
Wow,
he
where'd he
was.
go, man? Man, he made a cameo. It's crazy. You've lived inside his body. I don't know. Anyway. I am a sojourner, a foreigner resident among you. Give me possession for a burial site. I may bury my dead. Hear us, my lord. You are a mighty prince among us. Bury your dead in the choicest of our burial sites. None of us will refuse you his burial sites for burying your dead. So Abraham rose and bowed to the purple of the land, the sons of Heth, and he spoke with them, saying, if it is your desire for me to bury my dead out on my site, hear me, and meet with Ephron the son of Zohar for me, that he may give me the cave of Machpelah, which belongs to him, which is at the end of his field, for the full price. Let him give it to me in your presence as a possession for a burial site. Now Ephron was sitting among the sons of Heth, and Ephron the Hittite answered Abraham in the hearing of the sons of Heth, even of all who went out in the gate in this city, saying, no, my lord, hear me, I'll give you the field, and I'll give you the cave that is in it. In the sight of the sons of my people, I give it to you, bury your dead. And Abraham bowed before the people of the land, and he spoke to Ephron in the hearing of the people of the land, saying, if you will only praise, hear me, I will give you the silver for the field, accept it from me, and I may bury my dead there. And Ephron answered Abraham, saying to him, my lord, hear me, a piece of land worth 400 shekels of silver. What is that between me and you? So bury your dead. So Abraham heard Ephron, and Abraham weighed out for Ephron the silver which he had named in the hearing of the sons of Heth, 400 shekels of silver, commercial standard. This is a poultry price compared to what I get today by Israel. Anyway, so Ephron's field, which was in the Machpelah, faced Mamre in the field and the cave, which was in it, and all the trees which were in the field, and all within the confines of his border, were heated over. Abraham's purchase in the sight of the sons of Heth, Behol, came to the gate of the city. After this, Abraham married Sarah and his wife his cave, and then Machpelah faced Mamre, thus Hebron the face again. And then the field and the cave and were deeded over to Abraham for possession of the burial site by the sons of Heth.
Amen.
Anyway, so why in the world is this in the Bible? Unless it just actually happened. I can't think of any theological purpose to have this in there. And there's a bunch of things in the Bible that have that. We're talking about like the authenticity of the scriptures. Why include that? Why talk about it? Why have it? Unless it's just to be very specific about what was happening and to like establish land rights. But they're not buying all of Canaan.
Right.
Canaan was promised by God to Abraham specifically for his descendants. So it's not a legal purchase that is establishing it, although there you could say that for this specific field, but that's it. You can't say it for like, so why is this here? And there's a bunch of things in the Bible that just feel that way. Like this, why include this? Why have this? And it's like, it was relevant to the Jews who were writing it at the time and to establish credibility with its authenticity, because we can find these burial grounds.
Right.
Like when it talks about like the burial of David, we found his tomb. That seems like a pretty weird random thing to add if it is just like nonsense. Will you ever do a stream on the New Testament? Yes, I
and
will.
on top of that, it is something that is pretty unique in as it when it comes to Holy Scriptures, to have like arguably mundane details like this in there. When you're talking about other holy books, generally not, they don't really fixate on certain things like this, unless again, like you said, there's a very like substantial reason why something like this would be pointed out. But like you said, this isn't, I mean, this is just kind of saying what happened, really. It's not we're not talking major land rights or anything like that.
No, I don't want to do that. I ain't want to do that now, not right here, right now, my sir. I want to do something different right there, and I have my sir. So we got all these playlists. We got a bunch that you can't even see because they're privated. But I want to view the whole playlist for Tom. If we're going to do a stream on the New Testament, if you just you can go by oldest. I went through the entire New Testament. I don't know why these three are out of order, but I have those, and then we went down and I went through all of Matthew together with Tommy. And now we're doing Exodus, and then we did Genesis, and then after Genesis, we might do John. That'd be pretty cool. Might go back to Romans, make everyone angry. But yeah, there's a playlist on the channel for the New Testament. If you just want to watch me teach on Matthew for a while, that's there. Recommend it. It's pretty cool. What was the verses you just read? All of Genesis 23.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I absolutely love how in order to study the New Testament, you should really study the Old Testament, because the New Testament's just quoting the Old Testament repeatedly over and over and over again.
And
And if you
entirely
don't,
based on it at the same time.
right, yeah. No, you weren't around back in those days. But if you do so happen to want to go back there, the first one I did is really good teaching and really terrible audio quality, because turns out, I'll give you an example real quick. And this is just going to annoy all of you people real quick, and it's, it's a price you pay. So I had what song was it? I think it was Feeding the Ducks. I had this song on.
Oh, I think before we were engaging with each other, I think I came across that, because I think you even made a comment on the video that you apologized for the music or something. And I remember thinking, it's not too bad, but it is kind of weird, like feel like I'm about to get a massage while I'm listening, and that made me a little bit uncomfortable.
Oh yeah, I mean, I could have music on in the background while I'm yapping about the Bible. It was just a little distracting. So that entire first one, and I didn't just have it on, because usually I turn down the audio on the song whenever I was like doing test streams. And it was fine, but I left it turned up all the way. So it was just loud music. So my voice was at the same the same loudness as the music itself.
So
you're
it's
trying
like
to hear
a
me
Bible
like
study in an elevator.
right, yeah. Like you're trying to hear me go through like Mary having kids, and like the debate on Mary being an ever virgin, and like all those things. I'm like, like yeah, man, it is.
What's that? You said that was called like Feeding the Ducks?
Yeah.
Those are some cool ducks, I'd say. I feel like they have like diamond encrusted sunglasses, and like they smell strongly of cannabis.
Yeah.
Hey, what you doing here, man?
I want some grapes.
Wow, yeah. Well, my kids like that thing.
Got any grapes?
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So old. Anyway, now
Yeah.
Abraham was old, advanced in age, and Yahweh had blessed Abraham in every way. Speaking of old, yeah, the 10 decibel difference was not kept, it seems. Yeah, no, it was bad. It was real bad. And Abraham said to his servant, the oldest. Well, to be fair, for those who know about my website, on my website I do have all of Matthew 1 commentated. So I think most of the things I go over in that stream, I also go over on the website with just text. So if you want to read those, you can. Anyway. So, and Abraham said to his servant, the oldest of his house, who ruled over all that he owned, please place your hand under my thigh. We talked about this before, but this might be a idiom. What have you heard about this? Because I'm curious.
I've
if
heard
you've
one thing
heard
that makes me uncomfortable.
Okay, then it's probably the same thing.
Probably the same thing. Yeah, and
yeah.
I feel like that.
Yes, it is.
I get the how do I phrase this? That would be a very meaningful. No, I don't want to use that word. I get the weight of what you're doing and trying to make the physical demonstration of it match. But I just can't really, I don't really, yeah, oh my gosh. I don't really, I don't think, I would like to not think that that would be something that was done.
Oh, I think
You
were
think
doing
it, you
stuff like
think
that.
that's a,
I think,
okay.
yeah. Okay, so
I mean, I get it. It would make sense,
yeah,
but it just is also kind of weird.
This phrase, I think, happens 3 times. If it's not 3, it's 4. It's only a few times in the entire Bible this exact phrase happens. And one of the explanations is that this is a Hebrew practice, ancient Hebrew practice, where you, instead of grabbing the thigh, the literal of the Hebrew there is a little bit more like grabbing under the leg. And is believed that they're actually grabbing the testes. So he's saying, here, hey, here, grab my testicles and swear to me. And the idea is, if you break this oath, it's as if you're crushing my testicles.
Right.
Or you are destroying my lineage. So he is having him do this oath so that he will get a wife for his son, so that he will establish a lineage for Isaac, for the promise to continue onward forever, which is why I think it actually matches pretty well, because it is literally about a lineage. So this was used for the severity of, if my lineage is cut off, that's like one of the worst things that can happen to you in that day.
Right.
People today care less about it back then, but like back then it was a big deal for your lineage to cease. Especially when we have the promise of the covenants of God through this lineage. The weirdest pinky promise ever. Oh, that's great. Yeah.
Chris, maybe we could maybe poor choice of words, get to the bottom of this. But there are parts there's other parts in later on in the law with the same author, Moses, writing about people who have those crushed.
Right.
What word is used for those in that context?
I
In
think
Hebrew.
it's just a euphemism here. But I
So,
can
oh, so you
pull
would
it up.
say like okay,
It might
you
not be
so,
like
so that
to
maybe
know
Moses
versus having
understood the
intercourse.
euphemism and still included it. Is that would
Right.
be what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can pull up to see if it's different though. Crushed testicles. Bible
Yeah,
verse.
because I'm trying to think. I don't know if there is an explicit Hebrew word for those. I know when I read it in the King James when I was a kid, it says stones. It calls them stones. It says a man who has his stones crushed. But I actually never really paid attention to what the Hebrew word for that is there.
Male organ cut off. Yeah. Sapka? Sapka?
What chapter and verse are we at there?
Deuteronomy 23,
My
1.
stupid eyes. Deuteronomy
Sapka.
23. Okay.
I can see how many times it's used in the Bible. One time. It's used
Oh wow.
literally one
Okay.
time. Okay. So yeah, that sounds super helpful. Okay. Yeah, apparently if you have your male organ cut off, and that's how it's translated there, but it literally means like urethra or
To evoke. Let's see. Oh wait, this starts on verse
that's
3.
not
Let's go
like the
back here.
word. A fin.
Lo yavo pitsuat
And
daka. Pitsuat. Is it pitsuat?
no, that's like he was emasculated. So that would be wound
Because I have a
and
man with crushed testicles or a
crushing.
severed organ. So I think
Yeah.
daka there would be crushed, right? Pitsuat
Right. Yeah.
daka would be. So what's pitsuat?
To wound. So
Oh.
you're wound by crushing
Oh,
and
so it
cuts.
doesn't even mention an actual noun
No,
there. It
this
just
does though. The next sentence does. So and cut the testes,
shofra.
just male organ.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Anyway,
that doesn't really help.
yeah. So it's not at all. That word is only used one time. Anyway, um, this is in fact logo software. Yes, I know the logo is pretty small up there, but this is logos. It's pretty cool. It doesn't seem pleasant. Well, they're not squeezing your testes whenever they make the arrangement. So it's just a man that you're trusting to caress them. while they make an oath to you. And it actually happens between father and son multiple times in the Bible. So I think this is the only instance we have where it's not father and son, and it is him and his servant who's making the oath on behalf of his son. So we have
Chris, I
this.
am I'm using my daughter's iPad for my monitor,
Yep.
and I just refreshed it to try to catch up a bit, and it says this video isn't available for your account, so we might have gotten ourselves age restricted. Oh boy. So there
Well, the
goes
stream's
my
not down
monitor.
yet. That's I'm gonna
Yeah, they
refresh
might have
my.
just put like an 18 plus on it or something. I don't know.
Oh
Could
no.
be my terrible Wi-Fi.
I'm still monetized.
Okay.
We'll see. Anyway.
Well, that'll be enough of that.
That'd be interesting. Anyway, I'm not gonna quote that. I think it's pretty interesting. The practices people used to do. Anyway. Oh, my testimony? Yeah. Thank you. And again, my testimony is only the PG version. So I don't think you'll ever get the rated R version of my testimony. Unless it's like I'm already in prison or something. I'm gonna be executed. But yeah.
When I get my
Uh,
teleporter up and running. Whoops.
This is in fact not the weirdest thing revolving. Yes, that was indeed true. Thank you. Appreciate it. Okay, so he juggled his balls, and I will make you swear by Yahweh, the God of heaven and the God of earth, that you shall not take a wife for my son from the daughters of the Canaanites among whom I live. But you will go to my land and to my kin and take a wife for my son Isaac. And the servant said to him, suppose the woman is not willing to follow me to this land. Should I indeed take your son? Oh no. Oh no. Hi, little one. Hi, go back to bed. You're not going to be on camera. Go to bed. Go to bed. No, these are not. You're not getting any more food. Go to bed. Because it's bedtime. It's an hour past your bedtime. Okay. Okay.
On my way down here, right before you started the stream, my 5-year-old did the exact same thing, and we're an hour ahead of you. And she goes, "Oh, I'm just so hungry. I'm so hungry right now." And I said, "Oh, it's bedtime." She goes, "Oh, I know, but I'm just so hungry." Unfortunately, I can relate.
Yeah, no, my daughter's 2, and she's experiencing. She knows how to open packages now. My 4-year-old still doesn't. My 2-year-old does, and she keeps opening all this candy. It's really frustrating. Are you a psychopath like David? I went through a lot of sociopathic stuff, and I got 4 out of 6 on the scale for it on the test. So kind of, but I have significantly changed since I was in those days. So I'm not the person I used to be. But
Yes,
I don't experience empathy the same way people typically do. It's much harder for me. So I love the anti-camera policy. Yeah, we're trying not to allow my kids to be on the internet in any way, shape, or form. But yeah, the midnight snacks are not adorable. They're 2 and they should be sleepy. Yes, amen. Our God changes absolutely everyone. If you didn't get changed by your relationship with Yeshua, you don't have a proper relationship with him.
Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah, all from the Holy Spirit. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I still to this day, I don't like I didn't really my connection to my kids are probably not nearly as strong as everyone else's connections to their kids. A lot of what I do for my kids is out of duty and responsibility. Including like making sure they're not crying. It's like I just don't want to be annoyed by you in this moment. Not like heartfelt like, oh no, my child is in pain. Like I don't get those type of emotions typically. And even then it's just like I don't want my kid to die because my wife will be sad, and I care about my wife a lot. So it's weird. I'm getting there. I have significantly more emotion now than I did back when I was like 16. So I'm progressing. It's just it's a little rough. Anyway,
Mm.
so back what we were talking about. Abraham wants his servants to caress and then swear that he will find a wife among his own people, not the pagans. And the servant said to him, ironically, though, his people are also pagans at the time. But the servant said to him, suppose the woman is not willing to follow me to this land. Should I indeed take your son back to the land from where you came? And Abraham said to him, beware lest you take my son back there. Yahweh, the God of heaven, who took me from my father's house and from the land of my kin, and who spoke to me and swore to me, saying, to your seed I will give this land. He will send his angel before you, and you will take a wife for my son from there. But if the woman is not willing to follow you, then you will be free from this oath of mine. Only do not take my son back there. So the servant placed his hand under the thigh of Abraham, his master, and swore to him concerning this matter. So again, he's not like holding it the whole time they're talking. It's just whenever he's making the oath, you'd be like, I swear, and leave. Not nearly as creepy as what it sounds like, especially in that context where you'd like bathe naked out in the open and like people would see you naked significantly more often than people see you naked now. So it'd be more like some Asian cultures where they are constantly around each other naked. It's less serious or less weird, less offensive in those contexts, in those cultures, than it would be in our culture. Now, if I told my son, hey, come up and grab dad, swear to me you only marry a woman from this ethnicity, not those, like, that'd be pretty weird. I mean, that'd be great.
The Bible says make your yes a yes and a no a no, Dad. Take it easy.
Yes, we have a much better way to do oaths now. Pretty based. Anyway, so the servant took 10 camels from the camels of his master and went with all kinds of good things of his master's in his hand. So he rose and went to Mesopotamia to the city of Nahor. This is probably Eliezer. It doesn't name him, though. We say it's Eliezer because that is the only named important servant of Abraham, and the rabbis do a ton of stuff with Eliezer and with Ishmael. That is just not recorded in the Bible. They just make up stuff. This probably is him, but if anyone's like, it for sure is, then you would be able to like, oh, I'm going to discount everything else you say for the rest of the evening because you're saying something confidently that we cannot be confident on. So this is a master or a servant within Abraham's household who is going and being faithful and respects Yahweh.
Yes, a very good servant.
A very good servant, yes. So when it gets into the typology of Abraham, you can throw the servants in, and like there's the master and the servant, like the whole thing with Christ, and all that pretty cool stuff. Yeah. Thank the Lord that we don't have to do oaths that way anymore. Yeah. Anyway. And he made the camels kneel down outside the city by the well of water at evening time, the time when the woman would go out to draw water. And he said, O Yahweh, the God of my master Abraham, please cause this to happen before me today and show loving kindness to my master Abraham. Behold, I am standing by the spring of water, and daughters of the men of the city are coming out to draw water. It's also the second time love is used in the Bible, but it's the specific word loving kindness, or like loyalty, faithfulness, graciousness. Like it's used in a variety of different ways.
You're talking about Hesed?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good word.
It really is. I need to make a list of like all the best Hebrew words to know for Christians.
Yeah, that's definitely one of them.
There. Right. Behold, I am standing by the spring of water, and the daughters of the men of the city were coming out to draw water. Now may it be that the young woman to whom I say, please let down your jar so that I may drink, and she says, drink, and I will give water to your camels to drink also. May she be the one whom you have decided to for your servant Isaac. And by this I will know that you have shown loving kindness to my master. Now, this is a very specific request, which God fulfills. It's kind of like if you remember the threshing floor test in the book of Judges with the cloth, like, hey, God, make that cloth wet, the ground dry. Now make the ground wet, but the cloth dry. Like those are very specific tests. And God is willing to be tested in that way. because he loves us and cares for us and wants us to have confidence in him, unlike another false deity that we all don't like that much, Alan. Anyway, so we have God actually being willing to listen to this, this speck of dust, this human, and he is willing to have this thing happen to take care of everything. I got distracted by Evelyn saying, "This is fire, brother," or boy.
Oh, I think I might know that
Anyway.
person.
Oh, interesting. So we have here God respecting man's request, even though it's kind of annoying and specific. He still had it happen. Now, this is more important or more impactful of a request than most people give credit. And this also gets into the Rebecca can't be three thing.
Mm-hmm.
How heavy are these jars?
Right.
Of water that they're using?
Even without the water in them.
Even without the water, they're typically around like 20 pounds. Like they're good sized jars because you don't want to make a bunch of trips. You don't want to make a bunch of little trips because then you're expending the energy you would get the water from. Like it's a net negative or like neutral. You're not gaining extra water because you're gonna be sweating a bunch in the process. So you want one movement like, hey, I'm gonna fill up a bath with like 2 of these is the idea. Or I'm gonna fill up my daily drinking supply with one of these. And then the jars themselves would keep the water cold due to a really cool scientific physics thing happening on the jar where the clay will actually attract water to the surface of the jar. Then the water on the outside acts as insulation for the water on the inside, which keeps the water cold. So they had cold water to drink and to use in the desert based on clay jars. So these are large clay jars designed to hold a full day's worth of water to drink from, to use for baking, bread making, cooking, all sorts of things. These are heavy jars. When you fill it with water, they easily get over 50 pounds. Easily. If you ever try to pick up a 5-gallon bucket of water that was full to the brim, you would know how heavy this jar is, but this jar is even heavier than that. So this is not a casual thing that is being picked up. And yet he's saying, hey, water me and water my camels. Yes, 10 camels. That is, I did the math on how much each camel can
Yeah,
take.
it was wasn't it several hundred gallons of that potentially could be.
Yes. A single camel can drink 53 gallons of water, up to 53 gallons of water. This would be at most 528 gallons of water or 2,000 liters of water, give or take, or less. It could be less than that. But since he's going on a journey to get there through the Mesopotamia, there's not that much water on the way there. Those camels are probably pretty thirsty. This would be at least like 300 gallons of water. That is an arduous process. It's not impossible. It's not like physiologically impossible. You could definitely do it as an adult or even as like a strong teenager. You can't do it as a baby. You can't.
It's just absurd
It's absolutely insane. My 3-year-old couldn't pick up a milk jug. They're so weak. And then the rabbis who actually took the view that Rebecca was a child, do you know how they got around this? It's pretty funny. It's in the Midrash.
Let's see if they have here in my commentary if there's anything about wasted attention.
Yeah.
Nope. This is just all assumes that she's a grown woman. Isn't that weird? In this weird Jewish publication, this art scroll Humash.
Yeah.
They say nothing about Rebecca being 3, but I thought the Jews said that she was. It's weird. That's what I hear on the internet anyway.
Yeah, I hear that every single rabbi, all in unanimous decision, decided that Rebecca was 3 across the board. What in the world is happening with that? Huh. Anyway, the two rabbis in history that actually held this view, because they're stupid. Rashi's one of them. I'm kind of throwing him under the bus. Anyway, I think it's like literally 4 rabbis in history that had this view with any level of influence whatsoever, and 2 of them were just blindly following the ones that came before them. They get around it by saying that the water miraculously lifted itself out of the well and into her jar, and then the jar helped carry itself. So she didn't do any work. It was all just miraculous.
You'd think maybe there could be some mention about.
You would think, yeah, yeah, because that's like an insane miracle. That's like water bending. Um, like
And
every other,
also, though,
like,
it does mention that she was very fair to look upon.
it
And
did.
so
Yes, yes. We're gonna get to that.
we're getting
Uh,
very Islamic here, and
we're
it's
getting
just not it's not accurate to the text at all.
right. Yeah, you're jumping forward a paragraph.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
and before he had finished speaking, behold, Rebekah, who was born to Bethuel, the son of Milcah, the wife of Abraham's brother Nahor, was coming out with her jar on her shoulder. Now the young woman was very beautiful in appearance, a virgin, and no man had known her, and she went down to the spring and filled her jar and came up. Um, one of the very few times that Betula is used in the Bible, so the word for virgin, and also one of the it is one of the very few times that alma is used of anyone. I think this word is only used like 8 or like 12 times. Um, oh, 63. Never mind. I was off. What is the one that I was thinking of? No, that's Nara. Sorry, I can't read. that's not Alma. Alma's later on in the text.
Yeah, that's the famous one from
That's
Isaiah.
the common one, the Nara. Yeah. The Alma one is the one from Isaiah, which is why I bring it up here. Here it is. Alma. So this one is only used, I think, 12 times, and 10 of them are 9 times, and 7 of them are literally as a girl, a virgin, or a maiden, and then 2 of them are used as names. So this is like, it's really only used 7 times in the Bible, and 2 of which are translated as virgin,
Hmm.
one of which being Isaiah 7:14,
Yeah.
which we might do a little Isaiah 7:14 quick study while we're going through this. Strongest 3-year-old in history is absolutely right.
Yeah.
Samson as a child. Samson wishes, man. Yeah. Anyway, so we'll get to Alma in a bit, but Rebecca is coming out. She is a Nurah, which is a younger woman of like 18 to 25, like a
Yeah, I
marriageable
think
age.
I think I mean Isaac in the previous when we went over the binding of Isaac, he's called him and the people that went with Abraham are called Naar, the young
No,
men. Uh,
yeah,
and David also, when he faced Goliath, he was called that because people think he was very, very young. It could be that because he
he's at
was
least 15.
right, right. It's
Yeah,
so it's I think it's between like I think it can be used in I have to double check, but like anywhere from 13 to well into their 30s, this word. But
right, right,
it's a it's a young developing but also possibly developed individual.
right. It'd be post puberty. So
Yeah, yeah.
14 itself would be probably too young.
Hmm.
Um, so both Rebecca and David would be post puberty. Now it might be 16. But even then, it's symbolizing youth, but they don't consider you fully adult till you're 30, anyways.
Hmm.
Um, but it's not that old, and we get more indications that she is post-pubescent because every single word used of her is post-pubescent. You wouldn't call a baby a virgin.
Right.
Any dude who calls a baby a virgin is a creepy dude who needs to be on a list. Just saying, saying. Yeah. No, even for David, the male equivalent to it is still post puberty. Uh, so if you're talking about, the ability to procreate, ability to do these things, a 3-year-old is a woman, you see.
Sadly, we
Oh
laugh, we
man.
laugh, but sadly, there's
No, I am fully aware of what they do to children. Yeah. Anyway, so we have you have that, and she is called very beautiful in appearance. This word literally is like very pleasing to look at with your eyes. So Mayora is like to or mild is like very, like it's
yeah,
amplifying. Mayora is like to look at, to behold.
yeah, like appearance.
Yeah, and then beautiful. Tavot. Yeah, good. She's good looking. Very
Yeah.
is like the literal translation word for word for that. This is only used a couple times in the Bible. One of the other times is for Joseph. So these are like they sexy type people. Like this is one of the most like
Yeah, because a lot of times
uh
you get the word yafe or yafa, which
yeah, like
is like a
beautiful.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But this is like they're so beautiful that it pleases you to look at them.
Mm,
As the explanation. It's not like a lustful thing, but it's like, wow, that person is stunning. Now that could
right,
also
right,
cause you to, go into your desire, but it's
right.
not it's not like coveting or
Hmm.
any of those other words that they use to indicate desire or even just desire itself. But this is a woman who is so beautiful that it stops you in your tracks and you just want to look at her for a moment. And it calls her a virgin, and it calls her a Nura, and then it later just calls her an Alma, and also calls her an Isha. So every
Right, and
word
never
used,
never yalda, which would be
never
child.
Yalda. Yes, a little girl. So it never calls her a little girl. There are other girls who are called little girls, like Dinah, who is probably 13, 14. Um, she's old enough to go out on her own and do chores, but she's not old enough to be like an official bride. So she was, attacked. We might go over that. No, I guess we will go over that in later streams, but she was attacked in later on in Genesis.
The men of Shechem.
Yes. Yeah. Those guys, raped her when she was a young teenager. She is called in a Yalda. Uh, Rebecca nowhere is. So she's older than Dinah was, and Dinah was old enough to do chores by herself and to engage in intercourse, even if it wasn't, consensual.
Hmm.
Uh, she was at least physiologically able to do it, which would indicate that Rebecca's significantly older than that, which again would get into why they're using these type of terms, these marital terms. And she
Hmm.
has all these other marital practices that are happening. But she comes out and then she fills her jar and comes up. Then the servant ran to meet her. It says came up because the wells at that point in time, you had to go down into it and then bring your water out of it. And it's stupidly heavy and pretty difficult. So this is a really sucky experience all the way around.
Yeah, but
I've
she's a very
actually,
nice girl too.
I know, yeah, it's amazing. I've actually drawn well water.
Oh
Um,
wow.
Yeah, I stayed with my godmother and godfather up in Michigan. They live out in the boonies and they had well
Mhm.
water. It smelled awful. That's what we had.
So it was
And
not very well.
it was not well water. Um, and actually trying to pull up a bucket. Now that's actually different than what they had here. They had a spring fed um source that they would go down into, then they'd come back out of. So it's like shelf
Mhm.
water, like water shelf access, basically, is what their type of whales were here, versus like boring super far down and then like pulling a bucket up, which does happen in the Bible as well. But this specific type of well is not that type of well. This is a
Mhm.
different type. Both still suck to draw water from, don't get me wrong. Both cannot be drawn at any point by a child. It's not
Right,
going to happen.
right.
But yeah, and the servant runs up and meets her and says, "Please give me a little water to drink from your jar." She said, "Drink, my lord." And she quickly lowered her jar to her hand and gave him a drink. This also would be biologically impossible for a baby to stop midway and pour only a little bit out and not the whole thing. If you
Oh
ever
yeah,
seen a
good
baby try
point.
to like hold a cup and not pour it all out whenever they're doing anything with it, uh, yeah, it is
Chris,
hard.
I will be right back. I'm going to go empty my well, and I will rejoin you shortly. So continue on peacefully without me.
Yes. YouTube censored this comment, which I thought was funny. Yeah, he sure did. Um, anyway, so let's talk about teleporters. I don't know what Steven's on about. For those who don't know, Steven is like making up some master plan to conquer the world. Uh, Anyway, I will also draw for your camels until I finish drinking. Pretty base. So she hurried and emptied her jar into the watering channel and ran again to the well to draw. So she's running around doing this. And she drew for all his camels. Amazing. Meanwhile, the man was gazing at her in silence, sizing her up to know whether Yahweh had made his journey successful or not. Now it happened that when the camels had finished drinking, the man took a gold ring weighing a half shekel and 2 bracelets for her wrist, weighing 10 shekels in gold. A hot bit of money. Um, that's what 10 shekels. It's like 5 ounces of gold. 5 ounces of gold. What that in today's money? 5 ounce of gold. Price. $24,000. Just a cool 24 bands thrown around her wrists and her ankles. And he said, "Whose daughter are you? Please tell me. Is there a place for us to lodge in your father's house?" Granted, this is probably not going to be like 24 karat gold. So it'd be a bit cheaper, but it's still going to be a couple thousand. And she said to him, "I am the daughter of Bethuel, the son of Milcah, whom she bore to Nahor." And she said to him, "We have plenty of both straw and feed and a place to lodge in." Then the man bowed low and worshipped Yahweh. And he said, "Blessed be Yahweh, the God of my master Abraham, who has not forsaken his loving kindness and his truth towards my master. As for me, Yahweh has guided me in this way to the house of my master's brothers." Then the young woman ran and told her mother's household about these things again in Nurah. Now Rebekah had a brother whose name was Laban, and Laban ran outside to the man at the spring. Now it happened when he saw the ring and the bracelets on his sister's wrist, and when he had heard the words of Rebekah, his sister, saying, "This is what the man said to me," he came out to the man. Behold, he was standing by the camels at the spring. And he said, "Come in, blessed of Yahweh. Why do you stand outside, since I have prepared the house and a place for camels?" Now, this one is an interesting reference to Yahweh. This is one I just noticed the Christian gadfly in the anyway, this is one of the times where Yahweh's name is used explicitly in Genesis before his name was given at it's not Sinai, but at is it Sinai? Burning bush? I'm drawing a blank for the moment. I was gonna say Hebron. Anyway, on the mountain with Moses until I need sleep. Before Yahweh gave his name in Exodus 3:14 through 17, we have here Laban and Abraham and like the whole family of Abraham in these instances are using the name Yahweh before the name is given to Moses. So they lose it over time in slavery, but before then they know the name of God. They have this relationship with God. And Laban comes in, he says, "Blessed of Yahweh." Now, mind you, at this point in time, I think Noah is still alive. If Noah's not alive, he just had died, but Shem is still alive. Shem doesn't die until right before Jacob is born. So the people on the ark who knew God most directly, they were alive for over 100 years of Abraham's life. Because I think Noah dies during Isaac's life. Or like right before Isaac's life. So Abraham may have met Noah, and he probably met Shem because they were living in similar areas. Shem likely never left that area. So we have him speaking the name Yahweh. How did he know that name? Either God re-revealed it whenever he spoke to Abraham, and that's why he knows this, and he heard it from Rebekah, or Laban's family actually already knew of Yahweh and they worshipped Yahweh. Now they were still pagans. We get in, I believe, Joshua or Judges that his father Abraham's father Terah was a idol worshiper, and we have Laban and Rachel later worshiping idols. She has household idols that they have, so they're for sure idolaters, but they might still worship Yahweh, which is pretty interesting. "Why do you stand outside, since I've prepared the house and a place for the camels?" So the man came into the house. Then Laban unloaded the camels, and he gave straw and feed to the camels, and water to wash his feet and the feet of the men who were with him. Then food was set before him to eat, but he said, "I will not eat until I have spoken my words." And he said, "Speak." So he said, I am Abraham's servant, and Yahweh has greatly blessed my master, and he has given, so he has become great, and he has given him flocks and herds, and silver and gold, and male slaves and female slaves, and camels and donkeys. Now Sarah, my master's wife, bore a son to my master in her old age, and he has given him all that he has. My master made me swear, saying, You shall not take a wife for my son from the daughters of the Canaanites in whose land I live. But you shall go to my father's house, into my family, and take a wife for my son. Then I said to my master, Suppose the woman does not follow me. And he said to me, Yahweh, before whom I have walked, will send his angel with you and will make your journey successful, and you will take a wife for my son. Now, this is again Isha. So now Rebecca is being called a wife, a woman. This is a definitely post-pubescent woman. This is like a woman in her 20s or so. For my son from family and from my father's house. So there's actually an argument that Rebecca was like 30 when they got wed, and the reason why it took so long for them to have kids is because she was older, and the older you get, the harder it is for you to have children, and the more likely you are to have twins. So the fact she has twins and it took a couple years for it to happen may have been because she was older. She might have been in her late 20s or early 30s whenever they got married. But she's definitely like post-puberty, probably out of her teenage years as well, based on the Hebrew words used of her. Definitely not a 3-year-old. And then you will be free from my oath when you come to my relatives. Now, if they do not give her to you, you will be free of my oath. So I came today to the spring and said, O Yahweh, the God of my master Abraham, if you now will make my journey on which I go successful, behold, I am standing by the spring of water, and may it be that the maiden who comes out to draw, this is the alma here, a very important word, and to whom I say, Please let me drink a little water from your jar. And she will say to me, You drink, and I will draw water, and I will draw for your camels also. And she is the woman from Yahweh, has decided upon my master's son. Before I'd finished speaking in my heart, behold, Rebekah was coming out with a jar on her shoulder, and she went down to the spring and drew, and I said to her, Please give me a drink. So this is just relating everything that happened in the last couple chapters. Why in the world is this in the Bible? Unless it actually happened. The Bible is all about shortening history. It's all about doing and so happened and like such and such, and like they don't give full reports of things very often unless it is specific or something that actually happened for sure. That time has apparently been rough for my wife.
Oh,
That's unfortunate. Mommy and my daughter came down asking for food. Anyway. So, lost my train of thought. Saw my wife texted me. What was I say? Oh yeah, why is this in the Bible? They're just repeating the same story they just heard over and over and over again. And then yeah, just like it doesn't make any sense for this to be in the Bible. But I kind of want to go through this alma distinction. This one is super relevant for Christians, and since this is pretty much all Christians watching, we should go through this, and you should know how to argue this to Jews.
that's a good point, Chris, because we did focus on the Islamic point of it, but this is also very important when it comes to Isaiah.
Right. So, whenever a Jew says that maiden can't mean virgin or doesn't mean virgin, remember Rebecca is called both an alma and a betula, a virgin, explicitly. So she's called both. So there's at least one woman in the Bible that can be both. I think there's actually a couple of different instances in which this happens.
I think it's kind of
mean,
like the like where every square is a rectangle, but not every rectangle is a square type of thing. When
right,
you use
yeah,
those two words together like that.
right, yeah. I want to say there was another one where it was virgin,
I might have
but I don't think so.
some quick notes on that.
Proverbs also has it, and it's the way of the man with the virgin. So the way of an eagle in the sky, the way of the serpent in a rock, the way of a sheep in the heart of the sea, the way of the man with the virgin. This is the way of an adulterous woman. So this is one of the times it's translated as virgin. Also, it's translated as virgin in Song of Solomon, typically. And I don't actually see that here, which is interesting. Oh yeah, so one of these is also you could translate this one. Song of Solomon 6:8, you can translate as virgins, virgins without number. All Dhamma has been summoned. Uh, yeah, this absolutely shows that God is okay asking for signs. Indeed, be the truth.
So that's
That
that. I think that's also. I don't want to interrupt on that on your way to the other thing, Chris. But when it comes to signs like that, uh, does it or does it not get dodgy? Is it not context reliant? Uh, like things
yeah,
like casting lots or stuff like that, because I think it might have altered a bit now that the Holy Spirit has been given, where we should be more led by the Spirit than to. And this is coming from
right.
someone who I believe I have experienced a sign that I asked for. Now I did do it in ignorance. This was in my early walk. But a very clear sign was given to me. But I think it is potentially dangerous when, you don't want to be like, if I'm remembering this correctly, when I was a kid, the Batman cartoon, there was a guy named Two-Face, and he would make his decisions by flipping a coin.
Right. Yeah.
And so you don't want to go that route with it.
Right.
So what would you say? Because then also we have where Jesus in the New Testament says that it's a wicked generation that demands a sign. Uh, and so trying to square all of that biblical information we've got together, what would your take be on asking for signs like that?
So I think we also need to take Jesus' statement there in context.
Hmm.
And he is basically appealing back to the people of the Exodus. Because they were a wicked generation and they demanded signs constantly of God, but they also didn't believe in Yahweh until after all his signs were given. And then even then they immediately backslid and fell away. So they
Hmm.
only believed in God after they saw Pharaoh's army dead on the shore. That's when they put their faith in Yahweh. Not at the first plague, not at the second plague, not at the third plague, not at the fourth one, or the fifth one, or the sixth one, the seventh one, eighth one, not even the ninth and the 10th plagues, which are the most important. Not even the 10th plague put their faith in Yahweh. It's whenever they had already crossed through the Red Sea and then Pharaoh's army died. When they saw the death of his army, that's when they put their faith in Yahweh. And then they immediately backslid with the festival of drunkenness. And then they immediately backslid in the desert by complaining. So much so
Right,
that the entire generation had to be wiped out.
right,
So whenever we're talking about demanding a sign before you have anything to do with God, before you believe God, before you have faith in God, uh, it can be from the wickedness of your heart that you're not going to believe God no matter what. It's like the Richard Dawkins of, even if he wrote, um, Richard, I am God who made you in the stars, I would think I'm hallucinating, or some clever alien tricksters are doing this to mess with me.
right.
I'm not even, that's not an exaggeration. I'm quoting him there.
Correct, right. He did
I'm
say that.
paraphrasing him at least. He said that. So that I think is more the type of signs, or like doing everything by like astrology or that type of stuff. I would say that is wrong and not, you shouldn't be doing that. But as far as like, hey God, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing with this. I'm gonna pray. I trust in your guidance. I am not very good at listening to your voice. Can you help me with this?
Hmm.
And if you ask something specific to happen and that specific thing happens, it's like, yeah, well, yeah, yeah. One of my favorite videos is like, it was a dude driving a car in a thunderstorm. He's like, man, all y'all Christians are so stupid. You guys take everything as signs. Like, you know, God, if you real, send a thunderstrike right now, and like him right in front of his car. And he's like, oh no. Because he did a countdown. He said, send a thunderstrike in 3, 2, 1, boom. He's like, that is very concerning. I don't know what to do with this right now. And it's like, you ask for a sign, you got a sign.
That
Um,
is one thing I would say, that the one, like the major time in my life that happened to me, you would think that it would be thrilling and exciting and everything, and it just ended up being terrifying for me, because then I kind of realized, oh, that was him, and he's talking to me. And now also, I mean, I have to uphold my end of the thing, which is, okay, if you direct me this way, I'll do it, which was also very terrifying. It wasn't a, wow, all right, this is good. It was more of like, and again, this is in my early
Oh,
walk. Now, like hearing
right.
from God is always a pleasure, even when it's not really news I like to hear. But back then, it was, oh, he's here and he's paying attention and he's talking to me and he wants me to do something. It was very uncomfortable. But now it's great. Now I welcome those moments, but definitely can be. I mean, when you consider the weight of the situation, that you just
Mm.
received open personal communication with the creator of the universe, that's a big feeling.
Absolutely, yeah. Um, so I'm gonna go through this real quick, translate it. Uh, okay. No, it's still a young woman there, it's just a different word used. Anyway, I was going through the Aramaic off camera. Um, I know, lame, but this is the word in Aramaic, and it is related to Alma. It's slightly different formations, like Yolmion. No. uh,
Swedish Aramaic.
Yolmion. Yolmata, Almata.
What I wish I was able to
Is it
keep up with.
Ayin, a Vav, the U, Lemed, Yod, Mem, Taut, or Tau,
Olam
Olim.
Tha. Olam
Yeah.
Tha.
I don't speak Aramaic. Anyway, it's related to Alma, but it's not the same word. So I was going to see what word they used it for that in the Targums.
Yeah, I mean it's the
Um,
same basic root.
right, it's the same word, it's just not the
Ayin
same meaning.
Lamed and Mem.
Yeah. I did not use that for my argument, because I had not read the Targum yet to that point whenever I made that video. I have a video on this already. It's going to be slightly more in depth. But I want to compare these words for the Christians watching. So we have, therefore the Lord himself will give you a sign. Behold, oh yeah, he'll give you a sign. Behold, the
Oh.
virgin will be with child, and will bear a son, and she will call his name Emmanuel. I'm used to reading the NIV, and it's the virgin will conceive. And that just broke my brain. Okay, so the virgin will be with child, and she will bear a son, and she will call his name Emmanuel. And then we get the alma here. The alma is again the same word using this is the word that the rabbis and the counter missionaries will use whenever you're
Mhm.
talking to Jews. And they say, "Oh, this just means woman. It doesn't
Right,
imply
young woman,
virginity."
right.
Yeah. And whenever you go to the Greek, it does. This
Yeah,
is
Parthenos.
Parthenos. Parthenos. Um, and then that's the article the. So it's the Parthenos, the virgin. So the virgin will conceive and you'll have Emmanuel. That's also just Emmanuel, just in Hebrew. So if
Yeah.
you want to know how to spell it, that's just what it is. You even
It's a
pronounce it the
very
same
it's a
way.
very good transliteration.
It really is. Emmanuel is very close. Um, if you were to spell it, that's pretty much right. Like you
Yeah,
don't get the double M's.
Emmanuel.
Yeah,
Well,
but
actually, you do.
that's
Yeah, there's the dagesh and the mem there, so you even get
oh yeah, the
the
two
two
M's.
M's. With
Interesting, which we
us,
also get in the
God.
Greek. Yeah, with us, God, God with us. This is the Emmanuel. So he's going to be God with us. So you're talking about this, and it's like, okay, if you go to the Greek, it is literally parthenos. It's literally virgin. It's the word for virgin. So the way that the interpreters in the Second Temple Jewish context, the way they're interpreting this passage is as a virgin conceiving. And well, that's kind of weird. How can a virgin conceive? How in the world is this working? Well, that's what the Jews interpret it as.
Hmm.
Now then, oh well, Christians changed the Septuagint. This is not actually what it said originally. It would say something different. We have no evidence of that. The only evidence we have is that it is virgin here.
And also,
So
it
if
works
this,
perfectly with the Hebrews, so it's a
it,
silly,
it,
silly argument.
yeah, it just does. It could be just from the Hebrew virgin because Rebecca is called virgin and she's called Alma. Um, Alma. So you have both, and then you can go through. Then if they're really going to push you, I have a video on it. But I can quickly give you the rebuttal on it. We have the virgin will be with child, and she will, who's this sign? What is this sign?
Mhm.
And the answer is it's obviously Jesus, but part of the thing is he will eat curds and honey in order that he will know to refuse evil and choose good. For before the boy will know to refuse evil and choose good, the land whose two kings you dread will be forsaken. The sign is to show that these two kings are going to be destroyed. So God is sending a sign of this birth of this child, and before the child is old, the kings will be destroyed. And then when is this fulfilled? Do you remember?
Well, it has a
Throwing you on the
double.
spot there.
Yeah, yeah. You're talking about in the context of when it was given, or the prophetic
Yeah,
fulfillment. Oh
both.
yeah, very very soon afterwards. With it says so, which is what Jews will
Literally the
often
next
say.
chapter.
Right.
Yeah, literally the next chapter. It is fulfilled. Well, let's look at the fulfillment and compare it to the prophecy. So, then Yahweh said to me, take for yourself a large tablet and write on it in ordinary letters concerning Maher-Shahal Hashbaz. And so this is his son. And I will take to myself faithful witnesses for testimony, Uriah the priest and Zechariah the son of Jeberechiah. Then I drew near to the prophetess, his wife, and she conceived and bore a son. So they are not a virgin, and she's also likely not a young woman because Isaiah is already older as they're doing this thing. She may have been outside of the age of an alma definition. Not only is she married, and alma is typically unmarried, uh, but she is older. We
Hmm.
don't have a strict time or age for her, but the fact that she was able to conceive likely means that she was older and then less likely to bear a son. So she would have like a son in her, not in her youth, but in her, I want to call her an old lady because she probably wasn't that old,
Right.
but older. And he named him Maher Shahal Ashbaz, which is like you you're going to be spoiled, like you're going to be destroyed and you're going to be plundered.
Yeah,
But
and I
it's going to
think
be happen
Maher means
quickly.
is like a root from like quickly, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like
So
soon.
quickly spoiled, quickly destroyed or something like that. Quickly plundered. The hashbaz. So quick to the spoil, quick to the plunder. It's kind of the idea. Mm. Advanced in years. That's the politically way. That's the politically correct way to say it. She was an advanced in years woman who was already married, so she doesn't really fit the requirements of an alma.
Hmm.
And their son is not named Emmanuel. He's actually named kind of the opposite. It's not God with us. It's God has abandoned us.
Hmm.
Like those are very different type of statements. For behold, the boy, for before the boy knows how to cry out, my father or my mother, the wealth of Damascus and the spoil of Samaria will be carried away before the king of Assyria. So these are the same two kingdoms that were prophesied about earlier with Damascus and Samaria. These kingdoms will be destroyed, and that's what this prophecy is about. And it's before he knows how to say Abba or Ima, or it'd just be Ab and Im, like or Av. So before they can say Av, he will be destroyed. And it's before he's weaned, because that's what the curds and honey is the weaning process. Although you shouldn't give your babies honey, but they did that back then. So he's not weaned and he can't speak. Then they will be destroyed. And sure enough, they were destroyed right after. So this is partially fulfilled at that time, but there's a lot of differences between the prophecies. So either God failed a prophecy in the same book and the next chapter over, or it has more meaning beyond the obvious plain reading of the text.
Hmm.
And then you would look forward to another fulfillment of it in the future. So we have she wasn't an alma. Her son was not named Emmanuel, but the child was young when those kings were destroyed, and it was for those kings being destroyed. So it's partially fulfilled, and there is a birth of a son, but the other categories are not actually fulfilled. So him being
Mhm.
Emmanuel and her being a virgin in Alma, those are the things that are left unfulfilled. And it just so happens to point to Christ,
Mhm.
especially in the Greek. So
Right.
if you talk to Jews on that subject, um, remember that. Remember the Greek, remember the Hebrew being used of Rebecca, and then how it's not actually fulfilled correctly in the Isaiah. It's just not. So it can't be Hezekiah. Hezekiah sucks for that. He's already alive, and he's like 8 years old whenever the
Mm.
prophecy is given. An 8-year-old knows how to say mom and dad. I don't care what language it is. You don't have a language complicated enough where your 8-year-old can't speak mom and dad. He also was not Emmanuel. He was not God with us. Like, oh well, his name had God in it, therefore is theophoric. And it's like, no, no, Hezekiah is not really that great of a dude.
Right.
Uh, gonna be honest, he's not. He doesn't really fit the bill for being like God with the people. Like, oh no, he
Mhm.
was a righteous king. It's like, kind of. He did some pretty messed up stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, doesn't work. So, then we go all the way through the stuff, and then he finishes his speech. Then Laban and Bethuel answered and said, "The matter comes from Yahweh, so we cannot speak to you bad or good." So Bethuel, the dad of Rebecca, is still alive, and uh the dad of Rachel likely isn't. Whenever we get there, if we get there today, Bethuel and Laban are answering as the men of the household. The only man of the household that speaks for Rachel is Laban. No, Laban is. Never mind, I'm stupid. Laban is her dad. Is Rachel's dad. Leah's dad. Oh, I'm tired. Okay. That's a stretch being what I said or the prophecy or what how Jews read it. Dude, God's humor is hilarious to me. Um you can read about it in the Bible, but whenever you've walked with God, you walked by the you walked by the Spirit for any stretch of time. Uh God is very sarcastic. He just is. He's sarcastic in the Bible. His prophets are sarcastic. But even like if you read Job, like the whole thing of like, do you know how many stars there are? Did you number them? Did you name them? Um, he's very much like a type
Or
experience
what's been so relevant
the
to me lately is when
clapback.
he's talking with Moses on the mountain and he says, "Who made the mouth?"
Yeah.
And you put yourself in that position and it's terrifying. You know, imagine being there
uh,
and you're like, "Oh, I don't really know about this." And he goes, "Who made that mouth?" And you're like, "Okay, okay." You're
yeah.
right.
Yeah. Don't forget the donkey pee pee joke. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. My desiring emissions like that of a horse. Yeah. Like
Yeah, that would just be more, I would say, willing to be
intense.
graphic when, yeah,
Right.
intense
Yeah.
when the context calls for it.
The Bible is a very R-rated book at times, and people are
Mm.
not aware of that, but it gets up there. Um, yeah, there's a sex book in the Bible. That's pretty cool. Then the father and brother respond. The matter comes from Yahweh, so we cannot speak to you bad or good. So again, they respect God again enough that they are like, hey, we can't answer back. So even though they're idolaters, they at least know Yahweh is a higher deity than these other false deities. That he's higher than their idols.
Possibly, or
So
they
there's
could just be like typical pagans, like we even encounter in the New Testament, where you just kind of add God into your pantheon. You add Yahweh in there when 'cause it was
right.
kind of like a my knowledge on this is limited, but I'll try to speak in Chris terms. Like add him to your Pokedex. We're just like, oh yeah, this one, this one, this one. You use them when you need them, and
Oh, I don't have my Game Boy with me. Dang. Okay. Yeah, no. Nintendo wouldn't be like be on the stream anyways. Um, I'm playing Pokemon Unbound right now. It's a pretty based game. Oh, I do have this. I got my. Let me go big
Oh,
screen.
that's shiny. I like shiny things.
I got my holographic Annihilate. The Japanese version. So pretty based. Dark Monkey. Got my Dark Monkey. Um,
The stream has now gone full nerd.
Full nerd. Hey, learn to play Pokemon Champions. Let's get it. Gotta follow them all. It's cute. Okay. Yeah, so it might be straight polytheist, pagan,
Yeah, because we see
or
how
they could
angry
be
he gets
henotheist.
when how angry Laban gets when Rachel and
The idols.
Leah
Yeah,
leave, and he's like,
right,
where are my idols? Who took them? It must have been you. I
right,
want them back."
right.
Eh,
And they likely didn't take all of them. Probably just one
right.
or two of them. Yeah,
Mm.
but it was still enough. Yeah, don't hijack your kids' toys. Those are my toys. Come on now. Anyway, um, yeah. So either they are just like, hey, this guy has a bunch of money, and they're like being like money grubbing, and they're like, oh, we'll agree with you whatever you say, or they actually respect God,
Mm.
and he is a part of their pantheon. They might even be henotheists, where they have Yahweh as their high deity, which is why he sent them to like. Why did he want her to go to his family instead of the Canaanites if all of them were pagans?
Mm.
What's the difference?
The gold
Where
bangles are probably a good persuasion maneuver, though, I would say.
definitely, yes. Um, but that would just be like the verification that this man can take care of her as a husband.
True, true. Yeah.
So yeah, as a dowry essentially.
Yeah.
Um, so he brought the dowry up front so that they would know that, hey, I'm not trying to swindle you out of a beautiful woman or
Mm.
out of a daughter. I'm actually going to take care of her.
Yeah.
And you know who this is referring to, like this is your uncle, this is your cousin that you're marrying. So all of the patriarchs technically commit incest. So when we talk about like cousin marriage and of the Muslim world and how that's terrible, it's terrible whenever it's generationally happening over and over and over again, which I'll definitely do a stream on the impacts of continual incest. But
Mm.
Abraham married his half sister. Isaac married his cousin, his first cousin, and Jacob married two of his cousins.
Mm.
This was before the laws against incest were already given, which we'll eventually talk about in covenantal theology. But not everything that is wrong later on is always wrong for all periods of time.
Mm.
It is never shown or said to be a bad thing that Abraham married his sister. It's icky to us, definitely is icky. But all the people coming off the ark had to do some form of direct incest. It probably
Mm.
wasn't siblings, but it was for sure first cousins. So you have that. You also have, Adam and Eve's kids, all of them. If it is literally just two people, all of those would be incest babies too.
Mm.
So, yeah. Didn't leave the town much, sounds like. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, what was it talking about?
We were just getting to the part
Incest
where
babies.
Lavan and they were saying if this is a matter that's come
Yes.
from Yahweh.
Yahweh. That's right. Yeah. So why did she get sent to her family instead of just some random pagan tribe that was less egregious than the other pagan tribes?
Mm.
May have been because they were also worshiping Yahweh as part of their pantheon, and that would make them more likely to become monotheist, become strict devout followers of Yahweh. Rebecca does a better job than Rachel and Leah, who take their idols with them. And Rebecca, I don't believe mentions anything of her having idols.
Mm.
So we have this, and this is the only relationship with monogamy of the patriarchs. And of most characters of the Bible, there's very few characters in the Old Testament that have straight monogamy. Uh,
Mm.
as the important men, at least. This is the only relationship that is only good that we see in Genesis that I'm aware of. The only one, literally the only one. It's also one of like three that are monogamous. It's Noah, Adam and Eve, and Rebecca and Isaac. I guess Noah's sons too, but like other than that, everyone else is pretty much polygamous.
Hmm.
And it causes problems every single time, which is why my name, the stream, is Chris and I, the monogamy guy, is because monogamy is good for you. It just straight up is. I've had a very spirited banner scrolling across the bottom of the screen the whole time. I don't know if anyone's read it or not, but yeah, I get a little feisty whenever people, promote polygamy as if it's a good thing. It's very evil. It's very stupid. Don't do it. Anyway, the only woman and the only man that have a good, healthy relationship is two monogamous people who are also not idol worshippers. And that's great. And then you get down to Jacob, and he has two idolatrous wives that are also sister wives, and then he gets two other wives, and there's a bunch of like conflict to the point where they're bargaining for intercourse with their husband for like food. It's like, hey, give me some of your son's dates and I'll let you sleep with our husband. And just like,
No,
fine,
not
sure.
dates.
So like,
Those weird. What's the mandrakes?
oh, the
Which,
mandrakes. That's right. Yeah.
yeah,
Give me
is that an
your son's
antiquated word, or
mandrakes.
is there such a thing still as or is that I always wondered about that. I never looked into it because it's such a weird word, first
Yeah,
of all.
I think they still exist. I mean, it's pretty common in pop culture.
Okay, so I always wondered what mandrakes were and why they seem to be like. I mean, because that was Reuben and his mom arguing, wasn't it, about the mandrakes?
Mhm. In
Or not
Hebrew,
his
one
mom,
is love
his.
apples.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I'm reading up on this. I haven't done a deep dive into this before. It says that they are an aromatic yellow tomato-like fruit associated with the fertility, romance, and folk medicine found in Genesis 30, which we'll get into probably not in the stream, and Song
Mhm.
of Solomon 7:13, known in Hebrew as dudium,
Oh yeah,
love apples,
Dudayim. Is that what it is?
dudium. Yeah. Ayum. These nightshade family plants were also used as a fertility aid and aphrodisiac, possessing forked human-like roots that contributed to the reputation of like coming alive and strangling you and all that stuff. Like if you've looked up Mandrake lore, it's pretty weird.
Oh really? I'll
Yeah,
just
like
take
they
your
have
word on.
faces. Yeah, if you just Google mandrakes, you'll find like roots that have yeah, no, I can't show that on stream.
Oh wow.
Yeah. There's some male and female anatomy ones.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah,
So they're
I
just
can't.
kind of like an overtly, mostly symbolic, I guess, but also, I guess, because of that belief to have some sort of.
Oh, it's weird.
Okay.
Yeah,
So I remember when I
hella
first read
weird.
that, I was like, I don't understand this. It's a plant. Like he found some plants, and then they're like trading over. Like that's weird.
Yeah. No, it's weird. Indeed is weird. But again, polygamy, bad. Imagine that. Anyway, so the only good relationship of the patriarchs themselves is this one, where there isn't like threats of death or violence and hurt feelings and shouting, all that stuff. Um, it's just this one. All the other ones are bad, including the polygamy of Esau, where they're like, I want to die because of your Canaanite wives.
Oh yeah.
Again, you gotta choose the right partner and only choose one partner. That's the best case for your life. Anyway, behold, Rebekah's before you. Take her and go. Let her be the wife, the Isha. Again, she's a grown woman of your master's son, as Yahweh has spoken. Now it happened that when Abraham's servant heard their words, he bowed himself to the ground before Yahweh. The servant brought out articles of silver and articles of gold and garments and gave them to Rebekah. He also gave precious things to her brother and her mother. Why is the father not mentioned here? This is an interesting one. So he's mentioned here. I've actually heard it be taught that Bethuel's not in the picture.
Oh, yeah, I've heard that too, but I can't remember to what
Right.
significance that was.
Which is why I said that earlier, because in my mind I just mixed the two, because I read Bethuel, then I was like, that doesn't make any sense of what I've heard. So I was blending those two things in my head together. But part of this is that because it is just the mother and the brother who are speaking the whole time, and the mother and the brother who are accepting the gifts and all these other things, it might be that the father has already died, that Bethuel is dead. But it says Laban va Bethuel is speaking here, literally, and spoke.
Yeah, well, yeah,
So,
answered Laban, and yeah,
and from
they
Yahweh,
both
and
answered.
yeah. So, is he actually there, or is he not? Because I think the rest of the time, that's the only mention of Bethuel. The rest of the time, it's all just Laban and his mom, her mom.
Yeah, I think it
Um,
is too. And it is,
yeah,
but both of those verbs are plural for them. They both did the
right,
speaking.
right. So,
So the Jewish commentary, the limited one that I have on this, says it's specifies that, and it says that he gave to her brother and her mother, and it says, where was her father Bethuel? The entire family had expected extravagant gifts from Eliezer. Disappointed that he had given them only fruit, Bethuel tried to renege on his argument, or on his agreement, or to poison Eliezer. So God sent an angel to kill him. So that's how they resolved this.
oh, dude, the Midrash is just amazing sometimes. Man. The stuff that was cooked up in the 300s, 400s, and 500s by rabbis were
Mm.
just so stupid at times. Of course, that's the commentary. That's Rashi, isn't it? That you're reading from?
That's well, that's the Midrash with Rashi, but it also cites the fruit is
That
from
was
another
cites the
source.
earlier ones. But
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
if I had to guess, it's Bereshit Rabbah. I just need to go through that cover to cover. Man, dude, like there's so many really stupid things in Bereshit Rabbah. I love it so much, and it's just so dumb. It's just a mockery of the Bible.
Yeah,
Um,
it becomes just
but
like entertaining folklore
right.
that should have just stayed at that level, never should have been elevated to a point of this is what happened.
Yeah. Um, but Bethuel may or may not actually be here. It might just be that he's there and all the rest of it seems like he's not there. Or
Hmm.
Moses or whoever is just saying like he's involved but not, or
Mm-mm.
I don't know. I've heard it be taught multiple times by multiple different people that Bethuel was dead during this encounter. So
Yeah,
it kind of threw me for a loop whenever I saw then Laban and Bethuel.
right.
I wonder if that is also in the NIV, which is what I
Because it
have read
does
from
say
historically.
that Hebrew verb right after Bithuel there, it says Wayomiru,
Oh, yeah.
which means and they said.
Yeah. And yeah, weird. Anyway, that's why I misspoke earlier. That was in my head while I was reading that.
Hmm.
Anyway, then he brings gifts and just for the mother and the brother, which again is weird. Then he and the men who were with him ate and drank and spent the night. Then they rose in the morning, and he said, "Send me away to my master." But her brother and her mother said, "Let the young woman stay with us a few days, or even 10, after which she will go." And again, it's just the mother and the brother. And he said to them, "Do not delay me, since Yahweh has made my way successful. Send me away that I may go to my master." And they said, "We will call the young woman and ask about her wishes." So they didn't really want to send them away. We see the exact same thing happen with Laban's daughters, that
Hmm.
he's just trying to keep them and keep them and keep them and not actually send them away. Then they called Rebekah and said to her, "Will you go with this man?" And she said, "I will go." Thus they sent away their sister Rebekah and her nurse with Abraham's servant and his men. This nurse, Deborah, is following her son, Jacob, his entire life. She dies on the trail. She dies in the camp of Jacob when she's an old woman. So this is likely a nurse or a wet nurse for Rebecca's children because they were well enough off. Because we get whenever they come back for Rachel and all them that Laban had a whole flock of animals. So
Mm,
Laban himself was wealthy. It may
yeah.
have been from these gifts they became wealthy, or it may have been that they were already wealthy and these just, cherry on the top of it. So
Mm,
this nurse may have been hired because they would pay women to take care of their children, primarily also through being a wet nurse. Because again, nutrients. You had to make sure you had the milk supply, and that was kind of difficult back then. So you would get a woman that had a healthy supply of milk, and they would be paid essentially. You were full time employed to just feed babies, and that was your profession. You were just a professional boob user, and that's what you did. Um, that was a profession for a super long time too. It's kind of crazy. Anyway, uh, they send Rebecca. This is not Rebecca's nurse. Rebecca's not a child. She does not need a nurse. It is probably a woman of the same age or slightly younger than Rebecca who will help Rebecca with her children. And they blessed Rebecca and said to her, may you, our sister, become thousands of tens of thousands, and may your seed possess the gate of those who hate him. Then Rebecca arose with her young woman, and they mounted the camels and went after the man. So the servant took Rebecca and went. So again, with her young women would indicate her servants. Her nurse was likely one of her servants. Why does it mention the nurse here? Because Deborah comes up later in the Bible. And she seems to have been close to Jacob. Jacob liked her, cared for her. She was like a second mother to him. Now Isaac had come from going into Bur Lahairoi, for he was living in the land of the Negev. And Isaac went out to the mews in the field toward evening, and he lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, camels were coming. And Rebekah lifted up her eyes and saw Isaac and dismounted from the camel. Then she said to the servant, "Who is that man walking in the field to meet us?" And the servant said, "He is my master." Then she took her veil and covered herself. This was practice for marriageable women who are able to procreate. This is again not something children would do.
mm-hmm.
Um, nothing tops the Muslim sources. And the servant recounted to Isaac all the things that he had done. Then Isaac brought her into his mother's tent, and he took Rebekah, and she became his wife, and he loved her. And then Isaac was comforted after his mother's death. So this was 3 years after his mother died, and he has intercourse with Rebekah. Literally, he like took her, and she became his wife. So intercourse here actually sealed the marriage contract, and then he loved her. So he loves her. And I think of like ahava, the noun for love. This is the second time it comes up in the Bible, I think. If I remember correctly. The first time is in Genesis 22, and the second time is with Rebecca.
And
So yeah, the
and
first time
what a tongue twister of a conjugation it is here. Waye'ehaveha. Waye'ehav
Oh
Waye'ehaveha.
brother. There's so many E's. That's great. Yeah. Yeah. And you can throw in the as well if you want to be a little bit more Germanic with your thing.
Yeah.
Uh yeah, so the first two times the word love is used in the Bible, it's used with relation to Rebecca or to Isaac. So just as Isaac is loved by the father, Isaac loves his wife. And also monogamy, typology, Jesus has one bride, the church, which is both Jew and Gentile. And then Isaac has one bride, Rebecca, who is very beautiful in appearance, very alluring to her husband, who is a faithful woman, who is not an idolater, but faithfully serves God Most High. So, like, Rebecca is being a type of the church, as Isaac is being a type of Jesus. And we get here that he loves her. He loves her enough to give up his life for her, and he's comforted at his mother's death by her. So the love he has for her takes away the sting of death. Pretty cool. Again, typology, pretty based. You can watch the stream from last week. But yeah. Anyway, I need to go pee. So I'm gonna go pee. You do you.
Well. Well, I don't have anything prepared, teleporter wise, ladies and gentlemen. So I figured I did see a comment on the last live stream about because we were talking about matzah because last week it was Passover week, and I, if you want to make your own matzah, it is quite simple, and that's kind of the point of it. It's called in Deuteronomy 16:3. It's called the bread of affliction. So it's supposed to kind of be. It's not supposed to be luxurious bread. Just you take flour and water, and I add a little bit of oil just so it doesn't stick to the pan, and you just mix it together till it makes basically Play-Doh, and then you roll it out till you want it. This is where I think a lot of people mess up. You want it to be paper thin because when you get it on the and you don't want to bake it. In the old days, they would have like heated stones that they would throw the dough over and it would just kind of cook it on the stones, or you could put it in a really hot oven and it would cook real quick. So you want to poke some holes in it so it doesn't bubble up because it's also supposed to represent humility. And you get a really nice, it's kind of like a nice flour tortilla. um, and so there's not much to it. It's really kind of the technique. You want to make it quick and you want to make it be like bread. I was talking about matzah, Chris, and this time I'm being
Oh yes.
honest.
Okay. Oh. It's about matzah being a type of Christ, or just the general
I was
flavor
gonna
of it.
get there, but it was someone on the last one asked for a recipe, and I was just mentioning that it's a pretty simple thing to do. It's the point of it is to be made in haste, and also
Mhm.
because I mean, I guess, would you use the word typology in matzah?
Oh yeah,
Yes, you could. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
So, and so you
Beaten,
poke holes
striped,
and
pierced,
beaten, yeah.
homeless,
And it's the bread of
man.
affliction. It's bread of humility. It doesn't have leaven in it, so it's not puffed up. It's humble, and
Mhm.
but it
Not left
really
out
is just
overnight.
flour, water. You mix it together, make a dough, and then you just roll it out
Throw it
real
in
super thin and cook it for I
quick.
do it on a skillet on the stove. You just put the dough in
Pita.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you poke it a little bit so it doesn't, and you pierce it so it doesn't bubble up, and then you flip it after maybe 10 seconds, and then you cook it another 10 seconds and it's done. And
Yep.
it's enough to sustain you for all sorts of things. Just a simple food
Yeah.
like that.
Yep. It's amazing. Um, Beaten, striped, pierced, broken, offered up as a sacrifice. Lots of
And
cool
th-
stuff with
and
matzah.
then
Lots of
eaten.
cool. Then eaten. Typology. Crazy. Anyway, so he had intercourse with Rebecca. She was not a child. Um, he is not on the Epstein files. Abraham took another wife whose name was Keturah. She bore him, she bore to him Zimran and Jokshan and Medin and Midian and Ishbak and Shua. She had 6 boys. Midian comes up as the father of the Midianites. So this tribe actually is related. So whenever we look downward, who the Israelites are fighting in the land of Canaan,
Hmm.
several of them are actually like cousin tribes to the Ishmael or the Israelites. You have the Ishmaelites, the Edomites, and the Midianites that they're fighting. So multiple of the sons of Abraham and the sons of Isaac are involved in fighting against the Israelites. So whenever we get that they are going to fight their brothers, that they will be in charge of their brothers, all that type of language of the prophecy of Genesis, we see that in the not just the Exodus language, not just the Torah, but also in Judges and
Hmm.
later on. Like this is a continual problem that they have with these tribes.
Hmm.
So, did Jesus eat bread or matzah? Well, matzah is bread, but he probably ate matzah.
Oh no, most assuredly he ate matzah because it would have been sinful for him to
Passover,
eat leavened
right?
bread. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Um, he did a Passover Seder at that
Mm.
meal. So you can go watch the video I did 2 weeks ago on Passover Seder. Uh, yeah, he almost assuredly ate that, and then also ate the lamb to be slain.
Yeah, they would
But
have sacrificed the lamb in the afternoon for the household, and he tells the disciples to go and prepare, and so that would have been part of it. And
mhm.
it's a commandment for 7 days, starting that night, because biblical days start
Shall I have
at
leavened?
darkness. So you
Mhm.
have 7 days where you have to remove all the leavening from your home, and you can only eat unleavened bread for those 7 days. So
Yep.
and leaven pictures pictures sin and pride, and so uh Jesus, for two reasons, matzah is like a one of the clearest or most overt pictures of Jesus that we've got, uh and because of what we were saying earlier, beaten, crushed,
Mhm.
pierced. And so not only for that reason, but Jesus wouldn't sin. He would keep all the commandments that were relevant to him, and so he would have eaten unleavened bread. Uh, so matzah is just Hebrew for unleavened bread. In case that wasn't clear. It is
Mhm.
still is bread, but it's
Mhm.
unleavened bread. It's bread made in
Yeah.
haste and no time to rise, with no what we would call sourdough bread. No
Right.
leavening in it.
Right. Just general bread. The word for bread in Hebrew is lechem.
Yeah.
So like Bethlehem, for example, is the house of bread's bits. Lechem. So Bethlehem is the house of bread. Um, for you to remember it because Bethlehem is a word that you probably know.
Mm.
Um, and then matzah is literally just that specific type of bread. So it'd be like saying bread versus like a bagel. Like we have specific words for
Right, right.
all the subcategories, and there's the one overall word. Um, so even whenever someone were to mention lechem, like with let's say Melchizedek, could still be unleavened, could still be matzah.
Mm.
Same with Genesis 18 with Jesus eating with Abraham. They
Right,
made that bread very quickly.
right,
Who's to say it wasn't matzah, even though it was
right. It
lechem?
it probably was, because if anybody here has made sourdough bread, you have to let the bread rise.
Right. So, yeah.
And so when
Yeah.
you're making something in haste, you throw it together and you just make it, and it's good if you make it. If anyone here has ever bought the boxed matzah, the store-bought matzah, it is not
I have.
good. You're better
Yeah.
off eating the box than you are eating the what's inside. That's why we always
Yeah.
make it ourselves. And
Now my church would buy the pre-bought um matzah for communion because we would use unleavened bread specifically
now
for
that's good
communion
though
because
for that, because you
we're
can't do
supposed to.
communion with leavened bread. That would be
Right.
symbolically blasphemous.
You shouldn't at least use you should not use leavened bread for communion. If
Yeah.
you're doing communion, it should be unleavened. There are lots of people who don't because they don't know the Jewish history of our faith. But
Mm.
yes, communion, the Lord's Supper, whatever the mass, whatever you want to call it, Eucharist, it should be unleavened if you're gonna do
Mm.
it. If you're gonna do it at home specifically, you should try to make unleavened bread if you don't have access to it. Now, will God like smite you if you're doing it? And no, but there's a purpose to it. So we need to be able to recognize why God ordered things in the Old Testament to represent Christ. So if we're doing it to honor Christ, to remember Christ, we might as well do it the way that Christ intended for us to do it.
Yeah, and we
So
don't want to be like Aaron's sons who brought improper incense. So now you all heard it here.
strange fire before the Lord and got
Yes, strange
smited.
fire. You
Yeah.
gotta,
Yeah.
God takes certain things very seriously, and the sinlessness of his son is a very serious thing. So, and leaven pictures pride and sin, and you want to not have that. If you're going to do communion, you do not want that in your bread.
Correct. I have a box still I found from like 2020. This is wild.
It doesn't get stale. It really
It doesn't
doesn't.
go bad, yeah, but
No, because
it's
it's
never
never goes
good.
good.
It's
Can't go bad if it was never good. But it's like, I mean, it's
oh,
probably, you hear about hardtack.
right.
It's as close to hardtack without being, I mean, it just lasts forever.
Elvish bread, yeah.
Yeah, lembas. Yeah, it doesn't even stale because it comes stale. And you just, you put some cheese on, or what me and my brother always laugh because we'll like when we get lazy, because it's a lot of work. Matzah, you want to make it quickly so it has no chance to leaven, to
Right.
naturally puff up. And
Right.
some days in the intermediary days of the week, it'll be like, okay, like I'll just use some box stuff for, we'll make like lasagna out of it or pizzas, we just put pizza sauce and cheese on it. And we just can't get over that no matter what you put on it or how much of whatever it is you put on it, all you really taste is still that burnt cardboard taste of the matzah. It's incredible because you put like a ton of
Yeah.
pizza sauce and cheese on top and then like fresh herbs and stuff. And then you pull it out and you're like, man, this looks so good. You take a bite and it just tastes like matzah.
I mean, yeah, that's why the crust is important. Fun fact. Pizza crust actually matters.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah. No, I make all my dough from scratch for my pizza and everything else.
It definitely
I'm
is worth it. It's
bougie. I got a pizza steel, but I preheat for an hour at
oh
600
wow.
degrees so I
Wow.
can use my 45% hydration dough and really get a nice little chew. And man,
Okay,
I make
now
some pretty amazing pizza.
who cares about taking over the world? I'm gonna teleport to Chris's house for pizza.
Dude, I'll make you some chicken parmesan. It's gonna slap the back of your head.
Yeah, that is
I,
another thing we got to keep in mind because I did say I hate chicken parmesan, but then
yeah,
you were
I'm gonna
talking
make you a
about it in
believer. Yeah.
a.
Anyway, so
Now I'm hungry. Now I
back on
feel like
track.
your
So we can at
daughter,
least
Chris. It's 11:13 and I'm whining about how hungry I am.
okay. I think I want to try to finish 25.
Okay.
No, I'm not gonna be able to finish 25. I have too much to say about the soup. Let's
Oh
see. We're
yeah.
already at 2 hours and 10 minutes in.
Oh wow.
I think I just tell this quick little thing on his sons, and
And then I'm
then
gonna
we
end up
save.
making pizza at midnight thanks to Chris.
That's not my fault. Can't blame that on me.
I have done it before. I
Midnight
actually
matzah.
think it was like a month ago we did that. You started talking about food, and Lala had went to bed and she walks out and she goes, "What are you doing?" And I said, I'm making pizza at midnight." And it's like it's Chris's fault.
It's definitely not my fault. I do want to do some food streams at some point, though. I think that'd be pretty fun.
We could do some biblical food. That'd be fun. Like we're getting up on lentil soup,
Mm, mm.
which is a favorite of mine. I've loved that since I was a kid. My grandma makes really good lentil soup.
Yeah,
But
I have a. I don't think anyone can spell this. Oh, wait. Did someone make this account? No. When was his first video? Oldest. 5 years ago. Okay, never mind. Man. All right. He doesn't have a website, but I definitely stole someone else's name. Um apparently multiple people. So this dude named Alistair Roberts, I definitely stole his idea unintentionally. Although I think I came up with it around the same time that he did, because it was 5 years ago.
mm.
But I came up with this name called the Hungry Theologian for my cooking
Oh, I've
channel.
I've heard of that. Wow, so okay.
Me talking about that or that channel?
Well, good question, because I don't know actually. I feel like I've heard of that channel. I can't check my phone because I'm currently using it as a camera, but Hungry Theologian, that sounds familiar.
We've talked about it before.
Yeah, I know
Um,
for sure we have.
yeah, so apparently someone else has it, but it's just Hungry Theologian instead of the Hungry Theologian. So he never made a website with that name, and I got the domain for it because he never took the domain. Now I might just have to come up with a different name. But I made a website for it, thehungrytheologian.com, and I don't have it currently hosted, but I was going to. Anyway, I was a chef for a number of years. I'm actually quite skilled at cooking all sorts of different cuisines. So I know Japanese, Korean, Greek, Vietnamese, Italian, good old fashioned American barbecue.
Yeah.
French, uh, slight bit of German and English, although they don't really have much food to speak about. Uh, sorry, my British, all my British friends, but
Yeah.
anyway.
Well, what are you talking about? They
Um,
have tons of curries, Chris.
oh yeah, I mean, I love Indian food. It's great.
No, I'm
Yeah.
talking about the English.
Uh, yeah, that's great. We have the recipes. Why do we need them? Um, anyway, I guess before I get into the cooking stuff, let's finish this and then we'll talk about
Oh
the
yeah,
cooking
yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So she bore him 6 other sons. Chris has had 50 lives. Feels like it some days. Most people who only know the Bible stories, only know the kids' stories, they don't realize that Isaac and Ishmael were not the only sons of Abraham.
Mm,
He had 8 kids. 8. He had probably 4 times more than you thought he did. He
yeah,
had 8, and he had many sons. Many sons had father Abraham. No, he literally had a bunch of sons. And most
but
of
he
them
had
happened
one that was the
when he's
unique
old.
one,
One was a unique one, and Abraham gave all that he had owned
the
to
son of
Isaac.
promise.
Right, yeah. So the other sons, he gives gifts while he was still living, and he sent away from his son Isaac eastward to the land of the east. So he sent them to Mesopotamia, he sent them to India. He sent them, like Ishmael literally settled just east of where they were. But they're not in the land of Canaan anymore. They're just east or very east of where he was. And then he dies at 175. So he is an old man when he has most of his kids. He was an old man when he had his first kid too, but he was a very old man when he had most of his kids. And then Isaac and Ishmael together buried him in the cave of Machpelah. So the same cave that he buried Sarah, he
Mm.
was buried in as well, which is pretty cute.
Which, Chris, I
Um,
haven't done the research, but we obviously have the Tomb of the Patriarchs in Israel. Is that one of those? What was it? Is Constantine's mother went around and named things that way, or are we pretty secure that that is actually where they were buried?
um, I don't remember if the patriarchs was. I know David was, or David is. The Exodus Pharaoh, we have a pretty decent grasp of. Um, no one knows where Moses was buried. God
Yeah, because
buried
it
him.
it, it it kind of says God buried him.
It explicitly says God buried him. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, on
Um,
the top of Mount. Which mount was that? Drawing a blank all of a sudden.
I am as well. I also haven't slept in multiple days, so I've
I
a
haven't
slight
slept in multiple
excuse.
years, so I'm with you.
Multiple years. You're correct.
Guys, I'm like Rebecca. I'm only 3 years old, and look at me. Get your sleep.
Mount Nebo.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I always remember that because of that
Yeah.
stupid movie Finding Nemo. I had to watch that. I was forced to watch that in school in 12th grade, and I thought, man, not really liking this movie.
Thank you, brother, for the gifted sub. I appreciate it.
Jack Ray.
Sebastian still has not gotten it. He's the absolute goat. You're helping fund my retirement so that I can do this full time. Yep. I just need 10x the number of subs I have. I can do it.
And then Chris can
It'll be a
put me
while.
on his payroll, and I can stop doing all the dumb things I have to do during the day, and we can just do like a daily 12-hour live streams, which is what
That would be awesome. I would love that. Yeah. I'm trying to get Tommy on my payroll so he can stop doing on the less dumb things he's doing, but yeah, trying to actually get more quality content out to the people and
Tommy
using
is
the money.
boy, I can't fan over Tommy enough, and he's like a this my whole family loves Tommy, and it's funny because he's big in our realm of things, but maybe a lot of people watching aren't too familiar with Tommy. But Tommy is awesome. He's great.
Yeah. He
Everybody
also
loves
hates
Tommy.
being complimented so
He
much. He
does. He
hates
does.
being, he crashes out when you compliment him.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I don't know if you noticed, there's been like multiple times where he just leaves calls because you were complimenting him too much.
Yes. Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
Is what it is, man.
Which is
Oh
good.
my god.
It's I get it. I get it. Especially, I mean, it's good for him to be on alert for stuff like that. Uh, he may be overdoing it, but he may not be. You know, he may be taking care of himself. But Tommy's awesome.
Yeah, Tommy's great. Love the guy. We'll see. I don't want to say stuff prematurely. Also, I love Jack earlier. He was just sending emojis before the
Oh
stream
yeah.
started. I was just giggling about that. I was waiting for you to join. But we love Tommy. Everyone loves Tommy. Tommy's great.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna clip this and send it to him because it would make him annoyed, but
Yeah.
I love him. Um, anyway, back to cooking.
Yo.
So I spent years cooking. I started cooking when I was a wee lad, but I worked in 3 professional kitchens. So I wasn't just like some like I was a professional for a
Mm,
while and got really deep into uh a bunch of different forms and cuisines and all that stuff. So I wanted to make my first YouTube channel I was gonna make was actually gonna be a cooking channel. And then I decided not to do that because my kitchen sucks. And it's not very pretty to look at. So it's like, why watch someone that has a kitchen that looks like. But again, like, hey, if you're cooking for your family, it's like I have the space of basically where I'm sitting right now to cook in.
hmm
If I can make these meals, you have no excuse. So
Yeah, and there is
maybe, I
a
don't know.
channel. I bet there something history. I don't remember what it is. It's this young guy, and his kitchen's not like a kitchen. It's just all about how you frame the shot, really. I mean, you
Right.
wouldn't believe where I'm sitting right now. You wouldn't believe what it looks like when I don't arrange it this way, which I do
Oh no, I've
every
seen it.
Monday evening.
Yeah.
Oh, you've seen
Yeah,
it?
I've
Okay,
seen it.
yeah.
Yeah. The first conversation we had, I believe you were in that room, weren't you?
Yeah, oh,
You were in
everyone. Oh no, that was my garage. Oh no, that
no,
one
okay,
that
yeah, no.
that looks a lot
Yeah.
better than this. I'll show you, Chris, after the stream. I'll pull
Uh,
the wizard's curtain down and let you see what I mean. And also, I mean, my phone is currently tied to a stand with a piece of, I've done showed it last time, twine, because it wants to lean forward and fall off, and it's counterbalanced with a broken guitar tuner that's also holding up a pocket knife that I inherited from a dead guy. That's my setup right now. But you wouldn't know, and I shouldn't say so, but this is the magic of television, ladies and gentlemen.
yeah, making a YouTube cooking channel, the cooking space of a World War II German submarine. 9 excuses. 9? uh, yeah. No, I mean, it'll be fun. Like,
Yeah, but you could do it. You could
genuinely,
totally do it. You just gotta figure out how you're gonna angle things and put a little sprig
right.
of mint in the corner and
So, one
some
of the
doilies.
greatest, one of the greatest chefs on the planet he is a food scientist. He professionally develops recipes. I have a couple of his books. His name is K blah 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 K Kenji Lopez Alts. That's J Kenji Lopez Alt. J Kenji Lopez Alt. He's a American food journalist. He writes for America's Test Kitchen and Serious Eats.
Okay.
Um, if you look up Serious Eats, I'll throw it in the chat. He has some of the best recipes. That's not what I was going to post. Um,
Close brackets.
yes, I have multiple settings on my mouse, and my default setting is open, or it's copy and paste from the ones I have. And whenever I don't want it to do that, I change it to left bracket, right bracket for playing video games and streaming. So I forgot that. Anyway,
Did you want
this
to, Chris,
dude.
make a mention of that other channel that I just came across today that uh two saw I caught two cool Tommy videos, some gaming thing you guys
Oh,
are up to?
yeah, I can know about that too. Anyway, that dude, you should check him out. If you watch his YouTube videos, his YouTube channel, he just has a GoPro on the top of his head,
Oh,
and he just
really?
watches himself cooks, and that's all he does.
That's pretty
And it's
cool
like
though.
the absolute most minimal space you can even possibly imagine. And his kitchen is basically as big as mine, if not a little bit smaller. And
Mm.
he just cooks. But he has the clout and the gravitas to do that. I don't. So pretty baller, dude. Um, highly recommend his recipes. I'll just
J. Kenji
stream one of his
Lopez.
videos real quick.
That's a whole lot of
But
different sounding names all in one.
so this is, he has a professional in there, but like while he's actually cooking, he just has like a
Oh,
GoPro on,
wow.
and he's just talking and going through like, hey, you can just see what's happening, and he cooks. And this one actually has better like camera work.
Some cutscenes,
Has,
yeah.
yeah, he has 1.75 million subs, so he's not
Wow.
not new to this whatsoever. But if you go to like some of his older stuff where he's just like cooking breakfast uh in his kitchen, just like, hey, this is just what you do. Um very casual, like this one. Uh pretty cool dude. He just walks around his kitchen, GoPro, cooks it, and then that's it. Super minimal. He always feeds his dogs halfway through. He's my spirit animal. I love it.
I have a rule
Anyway,
with pancakes and matzah, and this is probably comes down to my ineptitude as a cook. I have been one time a professional chef for I think almost a year in a Turkish restaurant. But generally, I just kind of learned how to cook because out of necessity. But for me, it's always the first pancake and the first, I guess not, you wouldn't call it a loaf, but uh, what would you call it, Chris? The first thing of matzah. Is it a loaf? Is it still a loaf when it's just a little thing, or?
flatbread.
Yeah. So always
That's what it is, but
it's trying to get the the
yeah,
the, the pan temperature just right. And
right.
so every time I make pancakes, the first one always comes out just blonde, no matter how long I leave it on there. And same with the matzah, it just doesn't really fully cooks. And so it's always been that one goes to the
See that?
dog.
This is why you need a laser thermometer.
Well, that's ultra fancy, Chris. And
It's really not like
I
$10
just
on
told you
Amazon.
I've tied my phone to a stand with some sisal
It's
twine. And this isn't even new. I think this is probably 10 years old, this string. So the idea of me having a laser thermometer is probably never gonna happen.
it is the easiest thing on the world. Okay, hold on. Live demonstration.
I do remember when where we used to live, we were complaining about our heater, and the landlord called over a service guy, and he had a laser thermometer to test the temperature of the air coming out of the vents. So I'm thinking that's probably what Chris is talking about. But but then again, you'd have to assume that I would know what the right temperature to cook these things is, and I have no clue what that would be.
Okay, so everyone should have an instant read thermometer. It just tells you exactly what the temp is instantaneously. Um,
Ooh.
everyone should have this. It changes very quickly. My fingers are going to be about body temperature, as you would expect. And if it also has a nice little gauge on it, it tells you, hey, you're going to die if you eat this. Um, very good.
Very
Six
useful.
bucks. This is the granddaddy that literally everyone should have. And it just gives you a reading. And it's the temperature. So I'm 93, 94 degrees on my forehead. And you can also have a laser on it. I'm in Bollywood right now.
Listen,
And
I'm getting
it
like
tells you the temperature.
JFK fears right now, seeing that laser
Yeah.
pointer on Chris's forehead.
You can also do it in Celsius. So there you go. I'm 34.4 Celsius, and it holds it. You can turn off the laser if you want. If you want to, spare your eyes and you're measuring your own forehead. Um, but yeah, everyone needs this in your kitchen. It's only a couple dollars. It will make everything you do with cooking significantly better and easier in every single way. It tells you exactly how hot your water is, exactly how hot your oil is. If you're doing anything with cheese, you need to know because at 156 degrees, cheese begins to break down. So you have to keep it under that temperature. If you're working with chocolate, you have to know exactly if you're doing candy,
I was
you're
gonna
doing ice
say
cream,
a
any of
couple
this stuff,
times I got
custards.
ambitious wanting to make some desserts, and they said you need a candy thermometer. And so I'm guessing either one of those could work for that.
Yeah. This
Probably that
one,
one's better because it can get in the.
well, you don't, I mean, yeah, you should penetrate a little bit for that, but even doing surface readings like this one, I use for almost everything unless I'm temp checking meat, then I have to penetrate. But
Mm.
unless you're needing to penetrate, like these two things together is less than $20 or right
Oh,
at
wow.
$20.
Okay, well,
And
I
it
can definitely then
saves
get one.
so much food, and it is such a better quality food because you're not going to overcook your chicken. You're not going to, overcook your first pancakes. Like, oh, I need my pan to be exactly 360 degrees. I'm
Mm.
going to measure my pan. Is it that temp? Nope. I'm going to wait.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, cooking tip 101. This is literally the best thing in a kitchen that everyone should have, no matter what, for any reason
I'm
whatsoever.
just waiting for the
Um,
little notification to pop up at the top of my phone screen saying that your laser thermometer is on the way, because if Lala's still awake, she's probably.
yeah, she said something 10 minutes ago, so I'm
Oh,
assuming
okay.
that she's still watching. Yeah.
She
So you
does
need
fall away quickly though.
my
Okay,
thermometer is $19
$19.
on Amazon. Mine's the fancy one. I got the LP 3000, the Kaizen brand. You don't have to get one that's fancy. All of them work. It's literally just, hey, well, how hot ding, do I die? Do I cook? Anyway, yeah. That tool is by far the best tool in a kitchen, and then almost everything else you do and cook with, you can do with a fork. Um, Depending on the type of pans you have. So, yeah, including pancakes. You can do pancakes. Yeah, it makes my wife nervous, but I just like flip the pancake without a
Oh
spatula.
yeah.
Yeah.
That was one thing I did learn in my stint as a professional Turkish chef, was how to flip things in the
Oh
pan,
yeah.
and no
Oh
matter
yeah.
what it
Oh
is.
yeah.
And it's funny though, because you do that and you feel like Superman. You stand there at the stove and you're just like, and you're like, wow, I'm really something impressive right now. What's a spoon?
Yeah. I will make a cooking website here in the near future, and I will throw my recipes up on it. I was intending to make it as a repository, so if I died, my wife could still cook my kids yummy food because she can follow recipe, but she can't cook. So I'm the primary cook of the house.
That's kind of
Um,
how Lala was. That's interesting. But
yeah,
but now she's a lot better at it. But she, for a long time, it was, I like instructions and I want to follow them. Whereas for me, she'd be like, "Oh, we don't have this," and I'm like, "Oh, let's throw together this and this and this and make it," and then it ends up working. But she was like, "Oh no, you got to have instructions," and she gets all nervous and everything. But now she's got all sorts of things she can cook that are, she's perfectly comfortable, and I don't think she follows any recipes anymore for that stuff.
right.
There is a huge confidence element to cooking, that I
Oh yeah,
think people, yeah.
you don't need to measure things unless you're baking.
Mm.
Even then, you don't technically need to if you get experienced enough with it. But
Right.
you don't need measurements. People didn't use measurements for a very long time.
Mm.
Um, like sure, there's an exact science of butter to flour ratio if you're making like a roux.
Mm.
Um, but even then, it's like you can kind of wing it pretty easily. Whenever you see the flour fully hydrate with the
Right.
butter and start to blonde, it's like it's working.
Mm.
Therefore, it should be fine. You just throw in milk and then it works and it's pretty good. Uh, yeah, I do have, in my opinion, the you don't want to rue the day. Uh, winger it. I do think I have the best recipe for chocolate chip cookies on the planet. Bold statement, I know, but I'm pretty confident in that fact, and I do use exact gram measurements. So you'll need a
Okay.
scale to make my cookies. Uh,
Okay. Well,
but
Chris, we'd
it
always
is
we would
pretty
love to
good.
be, my household would love to volunteer to verify your claim. If you, because I'm
No,
sure they would
I have
ship, you
made.
could ship them.
They have to be frozen whenever you cook them. So I have a saran wrapped, well not saran wrapped. I have a vacuum sealed bag of cookies, and I could get that too. Why not? I'll be right back.
Chris is gonna come with some weird log of chocolate chip cookie dough. I guess there are worse things you could pull out of your freezer on a whim. We just before Passover. Oh, here he's back. He does. Oh,
So
wait, Chris, that's fancy. They're already ready to go.
these are 45-gram balls of cookie dough
I was thinking
that
it was going to
are
be a
shaped.
log of dough that could be, but you've already got
Nope.
them. Wow.
They're weighed off, and so these will take exactly 13 minutes and 20 seconds to bake, and then you take them out at 350 degrees. So when these are exactly 0 degrees, they will take 13 minutes and 20 seconds in a 350-degree oven on the third rack. And then you take it out, and it's a molten lava chocolate chip cookie with
Okay.
three textures. So the top texture, the bottom texture, and the middle texture are going to be different. And it is a ridiculous amount of delicious butter and sugar. Uh, Wonderful process. This thing, I've made these cookies and made grown men roll their eyes to the back of their head and go, ah. So
Well,
yeah, no,
I
I
gotta
keep
get to
these
work on
topped.
my teleporter. It sounds like this is
Yeah.
pizza and cookies.
No, I don't
Can't
just weigh out my ingredients. I weigh out my cookie balls too, so they're exactly perfect. Yeah, we go by the gram when it comes to cookies. That's the life out of life. Hey, when it comes to the pleasures of life, you need to be prepared, and it helps if you know exactly when to do everything, and it helps.
I
It's
haven't
nice.
verified if it's worth it, but if it's worth it, it sounds like it's worth it. Sounds like and I trust Chris on this. That's those look like some pretty good cookie balls. And I imagine they make some pretty good cookies.
They
So
are, in fact, very good.
God
Yes.
willing, one day I will have the distinct honor of
Eating my
verifying
cookies.
the claim.
Yeah. Yeah, my chicken parm claim, my risotto claim, and my cookies claim. I've eaten at Gordon Ramsay restaurants, and that was so. Actually, let me put these up before they start to thaw.
Yeah. Oh, Jack, right. That's funny. When I was a kid, we were our parents took us to Disney World, the one in Florida, and we went on the spinning teacups ride. And the whole trip, I had they would sell these boxes of Famous Amos cookies, and that's what I was eating. And when we got off the teacups, we were on the teacups, and I kept like I started crying like a big baby. I was like 7 years old, telling my dad, "Please stop spinning the teacup because I'm going to throw up." And we got off and we were walking away, and he was laughing, and he told my brothers, "Stevie almost lost his cookies." And I remember looking down. I was holding at that moment, Famous Amos, a box of them. I was like, "Lost my cookie? No, I didn't. I didn't take my cookies on the ride." And that's when I learned that. That's when I learned that term about tossing cookies.
I've never
Uh,
heard that term before.
Oh, you've never heard that? Oh,
Interesting.
I hadn't either
I've never
until
heard that.
then. Yeah.
Yeah, no. Yeah. My wife is learning ASL, so I just randomly learn random words with her as she learns stuff.
Mm.
And do you know what the sign language for cookies is? You
That's what I
take
would
your
make
hands,
it.
you make a tray, and then you stack them. So
Okay.
you have cookies. So it's like you want cookies. So my kids know what cookies is. If I say cookie, they're gonna freak out. So if I want to be like incognito with my wife, now we use sign language to communicate. So we'll just like cross the room and be like, which is yes. So just like, yeah.
You have to, honey, wait till the T-Rex comes and then you can have the cookies.
It's like a cat pawing is yes, and then this is no. So
Okay.
no, yes. Yeah. Anyway, sign language is it's interesting, man. Some of them are like super intuitive, like, oh yeah, I get why you would come up with that for the
Mm.
word. She has you will.
So that's it,
Anyway,
Chris. That's what we're going to do next. We're going to do a Bible study in ASL while we cook. And you can't say
dude,
that's never been done before. I hope it's not been
I
done. It sounds like a terrible
I,
idea.
I
But
doubt it has. Yeah. Um. Anyway, to brag a little bit on me spoiling my wife. My wife grew up with terrible food. Just being blunt, my in-laws don't watch my content anyway, so it is what it is.
real quick, while you
She
incriminate yourself, I'll go uh, toss the lemonade, and then I'll be right back.
Christian Gadfly's face still gets me. No, she wasn't British. She was Southern. When you think Southern, you think, wow, that's delicious food. But yeah, no, it's not quite there yet. Anyway, great channel, thank you. Well, when will I debate a Muslim over the Talmudic dilemma? Probably whenever I finish the book. But again, I don't intend to do. What did I walk in on? Ash, we're kind of over with the Bible study, so we're just been chatting a bit about food for a bit. Anyway, yeah. I was telling the story. I got sidetracked multiple times in the story. For the debate, I will eventually debate Muslims on the Talmudic dilemma. I'll like live in calls and we can just talk about it. But I don't have the time or the mental capacity right now to do that, to be honest. Like, I work 2 jobs. I just don't have it in me to debate anyone on any topic, to be honest. Even topics I'm like deeply familiar with. I don't think I have it in me to debate like Jesus claimed to be God, even though I've taught that for years. I just don't have the mentals for it at the moment. I make amazing Trollent. I'm scared try, by the way. Wondering how you turn off spare ribs in it. I have no idea. The only time I've ever used spare ribs is for like Korean food. Don't know how that flavor would go. No, so Gabriel St. Reynolds doesn't believe that it comes directly from the Bible. He has a interesting view on it. I would love to do a stream with Joseph Witzman because Witzman has more of the view that it comes from the Syriac than it comes directly from the Jewish sources. So I'm more in the camp that it comes from pretty much everyone, and that the Jews are just the primary source for it. But yeah, Reynolds, he makes some claims. He acknowledges that there's definitely things in the Muslim sources that comes straight from that. But yeah, anyway. So anyway, back to my original story while Stephen is peeing. Pork ribs is truculent. It's basically anti-Semitism in food. So I was on my honeymoon because my honeymoon got canceled. I got married right before COVID, and then COVID canceled my honeymoon. We were gonna go on a cruise ship, and then all the cruise ships shut down and didn't work. So we're gonna go cruise ship the next year after COVID ended, and then is 2021 still shut down. And then the next year it was still shut down, but they didn't just shut down cruising; they shut down that specific ship. So they retired the ship. And the ship line, the place we were trying to go to. We're trying to go to Alaska. So we tried to go on 3 different cruises, lost money on all 3 of them, and never actually went on a cruise. We are now going on a cruise in June together, me and my wife, which is pretty based. So we'll go on our first real official vacation. But it basically said, yeah, like COVID knocked in, like, no honeymoon for you. I was like, okay. So about a year and a half, no, it was our 2nd anniversary. I decided, okay, let's just do a staycation honeymoon, and we'll do activities around the place. We'll go eat at a bunch of fancy restaurants. We'll blow $1,000 and just go do fun things now before we have kids. And we spent the week doing activities and each other because we're newlyweds. And we ate at all of these fancy restaurants. And I bought ingredients to make fancy meals. I cooked her steak. I cooked her cacio e pepe with really nice peppercorns and some really good quality cheese. And I made sirloin burgers that had stuffed cream cheese and other thing. Like I make some pretty delicious burgers, but I made all of these meals with I make $60 baked mac and cheese, which sounds like an extraordinarily extravagant dish, and it absolutely is. $60 on a side dish is insane, but it is amazing, and I cook it like once every year or so. So I made all these wonderful meals. And then to end the week, we decided to eat at one of Gordon Ramsay's restaurants. And we eat there, and I get the beef Wellington, and she gets um, the stupidly expensive Wagyu beef. She got like 6 ounces of it, which was like $400. So she got $400 of steak. She didn't know how to eat it. They didn't tell her how to eat it. She didn't put lime juice on it or wasabi or any of the stuff to like break through the fattiness of it. So it was just like a really tough, kind of bland piece of meat. It was not at all what she was expecting for Wagyu, and we basically wasted hundreds of dollars on meat that she didn't really like. Uh, we also had the lobster risotto, which is how I started the story, saying that my risotto is, in my opinion, the best risotto I've ever had. Uh, but we had all of his food other than his baked potato and his French fries. So the potato dishes he served me, not he specifically, but his kitchen. I did not care for much of it. The beef Wellington was a little overrated in my opinion. But that baked not baked, the baked potato, it was a baked potato with a really luxurious bechamel sauce on it. So just a cheesy cream sauce. And you just poured it over it. And it was so good. I think about that thing all the time. And you had big cubed pieces of like baked ham or bacon, like stupidly thick cut bacon, or like guanciale or something like that. It was delicious. I dream about that thing. Everything else was kind of meh. And by the end of it, I asked my wife, okay, what did you enjoy the most? What was your favorite food that we ate out? Because we ate at like 6 fancy restaurants. We spent $800 on restaurants that week. And she's like, I enjoyed the food you cooked me the most. And I was like, that's beautiful. I'm going to like 5-star restaurants, and my wife enjoys my cooking more. So even though she doesn't have any like culinary background or anything, and she ate like basically flour and
I heard
meat.
ham and now I'm all grumpy, Chris. You ruined the mood.
Um. Anyway, all of that to say, she was very happy with my cooking, and I spoiled my wife, and now she's really bougie and can't eat any normal food. So whenever we go back to be around her family, she's like sad about the food situation. Um. So I have spoiled my family, and my kids are gonna be those kids that have like I make what they ate today was quiche Lorraine, like
Whoa, 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 whoa. You don't
just,
have to cuss,
just
Chris. We already worried about this being
bougie
age
stuff.
restricted.
Yeah, yeah, no. One of my favorite things to make is a croque monsieur or a croque madame. It's delicious, but again, it has ham,
Pardon
so you
your
can't eat it.
French.
Yeah, literally. Um, I love French food is really yummy. Um, the French history is not great, but French food is choice.
Unless it
Anyway,
involves snails. Have you ever had escargot, Chris?
no, I don't ever intend to.
I feel like it's one of those things that's just people eat because it is what it is. Like I used to when I was at the Turkish restaurant, they would make calamari and I had to prepare it.
Yeah,
And I mean, it was fried. We would batter it and fry it. And so it looked good, like anything that's fried does. But I would always ask people, because at that time I was already eating kosher, and I was like, what is it like? And they said, it's kind of like eating a balloon. And I was like, why though? Why do you eat that? I don't understand. 'Cause they would say, no, it's not good. It's not good. It's just, and I was like, well, I don't understand. Is there, now obviously I'm talking from a kosher perspective here, where and again, not raised that way, so I've had my fill of unkosher food, but in which they were my favorite foods too. But something like lobster tail, and I feel like there's a weird enjoyment of things that aren't maybe good, but I don't know. That's a topic for another time. I feel like there might be a spiritual thing involved in there. Something like, have you had calamari? Is it like balloons?
No.
No,
I
you haven't
mean,
had it, or it's not like balloons.
I've been around it. I've not eaten it myself, but I'm also not willing to
Oh,
eat
okay.
like seafood in
Oh,
general.
that's right. You said fish tastes like pee.
Yeah, it straight up does, yes. Lobster is the most acceptable seafood I've ever eaten, and it tastes like sweaty cheese that has been peed on a little.
That's what I would imagine. That's what, but I've never had lobster. The closest I got to that, I used to love shrimp, cocktail shrimp or fried shrimp,
Nothing
or
like, yeah.
because they
No, I
look
hate shrimp.
the meat kind of looks the same.
Right. Lobster, I'm willing to consume. I don't like it. I'm willing to consume it. Crab is a fine, although I'd still prefer like cream cheese over crab meat, to be
I only
honest.
ever
Like,
had imitation crab, which is generally flavored. Come to find out, generally flavored with crab. But as a kid, I would eat imitation crab, and I liked that. But I
mm,
never had like crab. Just the idea of like cracking a big hard bug leg and sucking the wet meat out of it. I mean, it's just really unappealing to me, and I don't understand. Or like a lobster tail, and you look at it and it looks like a. There's a famous picture of a guy who got his thumb bitten by a brown recluse, and it was like he had like it was like what's the word? The tissue was dying, and it
yes,
looked
yeah.
just like a lobster
Necrotic
tail.
venom.
Necrotic, yes,
Necrotic
and it was
venom.
like
Yes.
that looks just like a lobster tail, and but there are things that I
Oh,
think probably would be kosher. Caviar. I could never bring myself to eat caviar because it just
no.
looks like fish eggs, and that's
It,
not
it
really appealing.
it it's what it is, yeah. No,
Yeah, so
I don't want to eat raw eggs in general, but it's definitely not fish eggs. Like fish are so gross. Okay, I actually want to read this. I've had it on for a
yeah,
while.
sorry.
So Isaac said, "Why is Mike Tyson anti-religion? Because he punches people in the faith,
Yeah,
the
that's too
faith,
good.
the faith." Him and his lisps. Yeah. Have you ever had baked fish? I've had fish in a number of different ways. It's always tasted terrible, man.
I love baked
Um,
tilapia, but I also love fried tilapia. I love
I think you're
fried
the
and baked salmon. Oh, hey, Boo Boo. Ruby's in here all of a sudden. Oh, she's gone now.
yeah.
She's extra
My
moody
dog's
because
been
she's
up
on
in
her
bed.
period. She's got her cute diaper on right now,
So
which is very
gross.
sad, but also cute.
One of the, one of the only times I've ever been bit by a dog was by a dog on her period. It was a
Oh,
Dalmatian.
really?
Dalmatians are kind of brutal dogs, man. I don't know.
Oh, we
Like,
had one
like
growing
they
up.
get,
That was what my first dog, well, not the, my first conscious dog was a Dalmatian, and we've always been wanting to get one since. But
I've only had negative experiences with them.
really,
Only had negative with them. Yeah, I've never had a positive experience with the Dalmatian. They're
ours,
always like extra
speaking of
hostile
food,
for me.
our Dalmatian was kind of like a tiger shark where she would just eat anything. She swallowed whole a drumstick off of the grill one time. And also, I had the traumatic experience of watching her eat head first, again, swallowing whole a crow. And it was just, they do the and, and the legs are kicking, and it's like, what?
Yeah, no,
So
I
it was
had
an
the
interesting
displeasure.
Dalmatian.
My pit bull killed a squirrel, and my mini Aussie ate the squirrel. But she only made it through half of it before I got out there. But from paw to face to like back of her neck, all of it was just covered in
Oof.
blood
Mm,
and other fixings of the squirrel. But I watched it on
awful.
camera. She literally had it between her paws, and she was just like gnawing on it like a bone all the way down. Yeah,
So all
not
this to
not a
say,
fun
everyone thinks we're off
experience.
topic, Chris, but we are getting to the chapter where we talk about lentil stew. And so we did this on purpose. It seems like we're just kind of winging it, but this is all done with intent because we're brilliant Bible study masterminds here, and we're leading up to the famous birthright and lentil soup story.
Yeah.
Right? Right, Chris?
Yeah, we are. I mean, yeah. I was gonna read that today, but I didn't want to spend more time on stream. But now we've already gone an hour past when I
Yeah,
wanted to stop. So we'll
it's
see.
probably a good time to do maybe a little more like wrap it up into something and then
Yeah.
see what happens
Do you
next
think
stream.
do you think Yeshua would have asked for a burger instead of fish had it existed at the time of his resurrection? Yeah. I
That's
don't think anyone in
that's
the right
fun.
mind would pick fish over any other animal to eat.
I can say this though, as much as I love a hamburger, when you eat fish, there's a sense of like your hunger is satisfied and you don't feel gross afterwards. Like physically, your body,
But you
like
feel
it's
gross
much
while you're
easier.
eating it.
Yeah, well, Chris would say that. I like fish. Uh,
I hate fish, man. Literal pee. To be fair, scroll. No, I didn't get into the specifics, man. The specifics were way worse than what you're imagining. I can tell you that. I had to clean it up. I had to clean up her. I had to clean up my porch. I had to pick up the body and the remains. I had to throw it all away. I had to find all of the different pieces of it that were scattered to pick up. Yeah, that's an experience I will have the rest of my life. Um, I worked as a butcher for a while, so I'm like, I'm not even that like I'm kind of desensitized to animal gore, but
Mm.
that was not a fun experience. Anyway, I don't understand how this is possible to enjoy the flavor of fish.
But
It's
you do have
only
taste
the
sensitivities, don't you? Because I think you said you
I
can't
do,
drink
yes.
coffee or things.
Yeah,
So
no, I'm extremely sensitive to bitterness. So the bitters within the fish meat is just
yeah, so it is a bit of a
can't do it.
biased opinion you've got
Right.
there.
Yeah. But anyway, I feel bad that now all the people who decided to join, I feel like getting off. It is what it is. Uh,
I just have to tune in
thank
next
you.
week for.
Tune in next week. Next week, let's see what chapter one. We're gonna go through the Isaac and Jacob story with the lentil stew. We'll go through. Yeah, we're just gonna go through all of the stuff on the outcomes of favoritism, because the Bible teaches things through object lessons at times. And we're
Mhm.
gonna go through the object lessons and what's happening there. Um,
There is a gnat in my environment at the moment. Got my eye on you.
there's no counting for flavor or taste.
Al ta'am, reach, smell. On flavor and smell, there is no
Taim
the
is
heat.
tasty.
Yeah, ta'am is
Taim
flavor and
is
reach
not.
is smell.
Yeah.
But I don't know heat. Heat to. Oh, strength. Would it be something with strength? Ash, you best us when it comes to this stuff.
My
I've got every
Hebrew is
word
not
but
good
that
enough for
last
that.
one, and I'm guessing it has to do with maybe. Well, no, I don't think strength.
I'm also trying to specifically learn biblical Hebrew, and I don't think that phrase is in biblical Hebrew, to be fair.
להתווכח. Okay. Al ta'am reach lo להתווכח. Oh, it rhymes. Is this a fun Israeli saying
Probably, yeah. There's no accounting for flavor
or
or
smell?
tasting, I'm assuming is what that means.
Taste and smell, there's nothing to be argued.
Ah, yeah. Tune in next week for
Ah,
more of
okay.
the same. Okay. Why is Ash not a mod in this channel? That was a good point. I have forgotten every single time to make him a mod. I'm going to go ahead and do that. And I'm sad is like he added me as a mod on his channel way, way, way before I'm adding him on mine.
And me and Ash have a weird unspoken, well, maybe,
Yeah, Ash is a mod now. That's a good point, Joe.
is because I think I've seen him stream with Rabbi Asher uh Meza, is that who it is? Who I knew a long time. Well, I didn't know. I knew of. and because I know through a guy named his channel was called Ahmed Yashar, and he was a Jewish convert living in Israel, and
It's modding time.
but now I'm doing
Sorry.
my own out loud side tangent here, so that's for another time. But I'm fast. I'd love to speak with Ash more because also he's becoming a Catholic. Mesa has an incoherent word. Okay, I thought so too, but I didn't want to say. I didn't know how you were with him, so I didn't want to just come guns a blazing. But I think I did see that you did some stuff with him. So I would be interested in that, but we could maybe somehow, Ash, we could exchange contact information somehow, or maybe through Chris, and because that's a fun little link for me from a long time ago. That guy.
Oh, this is funny. So I had to pick up the body and remains and throw it all away. I worked as a butcher for a while, so I got desensitized to gore. What the media does to things in context. Yeah. Yeah. He doesn't believe God is omniscient.
Oh, can he be
And
God then?
obviously, yeah, Ash has been Eastered. He was baptized on
Oh,
Easter,
that's right. Yeah,
or
yeah, yeah.
the day before Easter, specifically that Saturday. Yes. Congrats. We talked about this last week,
That's right.
actually. Yeah.
Yeah, when he was cold in Texas.
He's cold
Sounds like a
smoking a
country
cigar and
song.
drinking. Yeah. Breaking his fasting. Okay, I did promise myself I'd go to bed before midnight, and it's already 11, so I need to probably go to sleep.
Yeah, and it's actually not too
But
terribly late for me, even though it's not responsible, but that's
yeah,
all right. Because I usually have to go on a little bit of a wind down after the streams because I get all excited and worked up, and it's like, hey, God and Chris and talking and things, and then it's midnight or 1 or 2, and then I think, well, I don't feel like going to bed now. Like, but it's been fun. It's been fun, Chris, and informative, and thanks.
yeah. We'll hopefully cover more text next week.
Yeah.
We'll definitely go through all of the object lessons for how favoritism is evil and you shouldn't do it inside of your family and it will destroy you and lead to
Mm.
people wanting to kill each other. And polygamy bad. So we'll follow the tangent of polygamy bad, don't do it. Favoritism bad, don't do it. Love your children equally, love one woman. Yeah, and then in 2 weeks or so, we'll do the Joseph typology, somehow. And I don't know if that's going to be a Saturday, and I literally am just doing that for the whole Sabbath, or what we're going to be doing with that. But we're going to do a 6 to 10 hour Bible stream on Joseph. Um, yeah, yeah. Anyway, thanks everyone for coming out. Hey, Mary. Um, I'm going to sleep so I can actually get healthy and not continue to be sick all the time, so I can finish my book and everything else and all that fun stuff. So, thanks for coming out. Congrats. Lila Tov. Goodbye. May the grace
Lehitraut.
of the Lord be taught. May the grace of the Lord Jesus Christ, the Lord God, and the fellowship of the Holy Spirit be with you always. Good night. Oh, she's in bed already. So, Ian says good morning. Jealous. All right. Wait, it's not letting me end the stream. Oh, there it is.